Welcome to YellBro Road. I am Jordan, and today we're going to watch Tucker Carlson at TPUSA answer questions until we can't take it anymore. Pause. And I turn the fucking video off. But first, don't forget to share support. Hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Check them out, read them, share them, then donate. All of it is very much appreciated. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. All opinions are welcome, so please join up if you feel like. And obviously, I will link this video because I didn't see this is like a random channel that posted this. Oh yeah. Not TPUSA official. It's not Tucker Carlson's channel. And I'm wondering, and I'm very curious, if TPUSA is not broadcasting Tucker Carlson for possibly a reason. I'm just saying. Maybe he was live yesterday. I didn't see it. When people say, do your research, this is not one of those things I would care to research. Maybe he did. Maybe they played it. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. Either way, you're going to see it here. Not all of it, most likely, because it's long. It's a lot. Hour and 49 fucking minutes. Yeah, it's a lot. But I'm sure after several questions and answers, we should be able to get something out of this. Something interesting should be said, right? But yes, I will link this video so you can watch it yourself without us pausing, without us talking over it, because, you know, this is what reaction channels do. So we're going to react to what we see here. And, yeah. So don't go in the comments telling me about, I can't hear anything. Shut up, man. I don't like your voice, man. Shut up. Shut the fuck up and go watch the original source. It'll be linked in the description box. You fucking dummies. Like, they're not used to people sourcing. It's crazy. And I'm not even sourcing, actually. I'm doing like the lazy man version of sourcing. And they still can't even follow that, bro. Incredible. But either way, let's get into the video. Here is Tucker Carlson answering questions from the crowd of a TPUSA event. Here we go. Their cringy fucking music.
Thank you for having me.
Get some volume.
I am grateful to be here. I always envied Charlie first going on college campuses, which I haven't really visited since I left college in shame 35 years ago. But I love the idea of people being able to ask any question they want. And I just have spent my life giving a ton of speeches.
Do those belong to somebody in the
so I am grateful.
I'm the production crew or what?
Of this.
It's probably Tucker's
without
dogs.
further ado, I just want to take questions.
And they do what they want.
If you ever had dinner with me, you know that. I could probably speak for 3 hours. And another thing.
Maybe Tucker should take notes from the dogs.
I would much rather hear what you think. And I should also say, by the way, my wife left for the week to visit one of our children, and I had the dogs. And so I guess I need a household staff. But anyway, I thought, we were in Maine this morning. I was like, you guys want to go to Indiana? Okay. So they came. So I hope they won't be a distraction, but they're very nice. We hunted this morning, actually. They're great dogs. So the one thing I've been asked to say is that disagreements take priority, and Turning Point will help bring you to the front of the line. Whatever that means. So without further ado, please hit me with your questions. You can't hurt my feelings. I will answer as honestly as I possibly can and as cheerfully as I can.
I hope so.
And, you know, feel no need to be cheerful to me, but I will be to you. So first question.
Tucker, this is awesome. Thank you for being here today.
Oh, man, thank you for having me.
Oh, man.
Big fan. Here's my question. So one of Charlie's gifts was bringing the different factions of the right together under one movement, supporting MAGA, supporting MAHA, and help to get Trump across the finish line, as well as, you know, I know Charlie and you both worked to get JD up there, which is amazing. 48, let's go. How do we keep that without Charlie? We're already seeing the Republicans, let's battle over group chat, let's battle over foreign policy. And it's like they don't want to keep together what Charlie built.
I strongly agree with that. And
what kind of fucking...
It was about maybe...
But those aren't things you can just we just keep getting separated on foreign policy, yada yada yada. It's like, aren't those things that are? If one side say, yeah, let's blow up the children, and the other side's like, no, that's worthy of a schism, right? Of like a separation between the two. Like that should happen, right?
I would hope.
I would really hope. But I mean, let's be honest. A lot of the questions you're gonna hear are probably from like kind of more lame type, doesn't know much about politics, or let's just say foreign policy. They probably know very little about foreign policy and a lot of stuff. But they don't understand the actual schism there of the quote unquote MAGA crowd that are like, yo, Trump's fucking up on this, this, and this. And the other team saying, stay loyal no matter what. So he probably wouldn't understand that. He's like, oh, why, guys, why are we fighting? It's like, well, these are actual pertinent fucking issues. Once again, Gaza is not some sort of thing you look past. Venezuela is not something you look past. The bombings that are continuously bombing inside of Africa and the rest of the Middle East, not things you look past. Those are kind of red lines, right?
How many places has he fucked with so far? Iran, fucking the two halves of Palestine. He's enabling Israel to destroy them. He's bombed Somalia. He's bombed Yemen.
Yeah.
He's basically given the northern third of Syria to Israel too.
I think the southern.
No, it's the northern third, the Golan Heights.
Pretty sure that's the southern, and the northern is where Turkey and the Kurdish, northeastern-ish, where the Kurds are, I believe.
I'm gonna look it up.
I think the south.
You guys talking about the peace president?
Yeah.
Remember that name?
I think the southern western part is Golan Heights ish.
Yeah, you were right. I fucked up.
Okay. Either way, they are annexing territory. In fact, they just named something after him very recently. Something in the Golan Heights as like the Trump Heights or something. They might be renaming it after him. Yes.
God damn it.
And as far
I'd still have money on him putting a golden statue of himself right there.
I forgot to put this in here. So fuck it, we'll go over it now. Why not? In the middle of Vice President Vance's visit to Israel, the Knesset, or Knesset, I'm calling the Knesset. How about that? Passes in a preliminary reading a bill to annex the occupied West Bank. And I've seen this several times, so I don't think it's just random, like this guy pulling it out of his ass. And also, with more foreign policy here, United States has lifted key restrictions on Ukraine's use of some long-range missiles, enabling Ukraine to attack targets inside of Russia, which is not going to be because Russia knows where the fucking bombs come from, and if they're allowed to be hit with bombs like inside of their actual country, like that's not going to be good for especially with the amount of tensions we have already and the reuse of sanctions on Russia and shit like that. That's not going to be good. Not going to be good. That's going to increase tensions quite a bit. And you know what? I'm not mad at anyone that considers any of the topics we just brought up in regards to foreign policy. I'm not mad at anyone putting a red line there and saying, yeah, we can't do this. If you do this, I can't support you. Or if you're one of the little fanboys supporting, like, I support Trump no matter what. If you're one of those guys and you stand on that other side of that red line, like, sorry, but you're an idiot and I have to walk away from you. I'm not mad at anyone that moves like that. Hopefully Tucker does. But we have to find out. And by the way, I do like the style of, he didn't come up and do a speech, right? He just kind of said a few words, very casual, and you know what? Open the mic up and I'll talk to anyone. Ask a question, I'll do my best to answer. I actually do like that style. I mean, he's going to be fully, completely honest about everything, but I'm just saying, it's an okay style. I like that. But all right, here's Tucker's response to disunity within the Republican Party. When you should be fighting for principles, but instead you're fighting for teams, which is a fucking problem. I don't think Tucker's going to say that, though. But all right, let's keep playing. Here we go.
I strongly agree with that. And It was about maybe 24 hours after he was murdered that I was obviously close to him, and I was so emotional about his death and so sad for Erica and the children that it took about a day to realize the political implications of this, which are real. They're not paramount. They're not the most important thing. The most important thing is Erica and his son and daughter. But the country really benefited from Charlie Kirk and benefited for that specific reason that you articulated so well, his ability to bring people together who had most things in common but not everything, that ecumenical spirit, which is really necessary. I don't have
biased,
that.
Jordan.
I mean, I'm a completely alienating person.
You're biased.
People like me or hate me. It's like I wish I wasn't that way, but I am. Charlie wasn't, and he could hear people who had views that weren't precisely his and say, I think I know what you're saying, or I agree with a lot of what you're saying, and we agree enough that we should be together on this. And I don't know who can do that. It's very obvious to me that the Republican coalition is fracturing over foreign policy, Israel specifically. And it's such a shame.
What a tragedy.
It's such a shame. I mean, I obviously have strong views on this, which I've articulated and made myself even more hated, but it's not the only thing I care about. It's the only thing its advocates care about, that's for sure, which is really a shame. But I would say on most things, the people I've battled with, Mark Levin or whatever, I agree with Mark Levin on a lot. I do.
Oh,
I don't
God.
know. I mean, I'm very pro-family. I'm passionately pro-life. I think he is also good. Like, it would be worth being united on those things. And I'm not passing the buck. I mean, I think a lot of us are more, including me, are more divisive or hot-headed than we need to be. Charlie had a lot of emotional self-control, which he was, 20 years younger than me, and I admired that openly, and I told him so. You have control over your own emotions. You take Proverbs seriously. Control your emotions. It's always been a struggle for me. That's a prerequisite for bringing people together, is curbing your tongue, not saying sharp things that you could say. But so I'm not passing the buck. We're all at fault. And the worst people in the world are going to benefit from this if the fracture remains. But I will say that on the foreign policy question, the advocates of neocon foreign policy literally only care about that, from what I can tell. And I would just urge them to broaden your concerns a little bit. Yes, I understand your emotional connection.
Mark Levin is one of the last fucking
and I'm
people
willing
I
to
think
make allowances for it, but
advice from.
Slow down a little bit. You don't have to hate people just because they don't worship Bibi or something.
No.
Like that shouldn't be the make or break
I would never
issue.
fuck
It's a
Mark
foreign
Levin.
head of state.
Disgusting.
Like, settle down. And hopefully they will. Hopefully they will. And I do think when 7 million
Nobody should be
people
doing
take
that
to the
either.
streets as they did last weekend, I know they were all like elderly boomers and everyone's laughing at them, but that's a lot of people. And that suggests a very high level of organization and coordination. That's formidable. That's not a joke at all. And I'm not laughing at that. I think it's totally real. And those people do not share my values at all, like at all. And some of them, not all, probably not most, but some of them are scary. I don't want those people in charge again. I saw what happened last time. So like, think big picture for a second. You know what I mean?
Okay. So I think me and Amy actually argued about this, where like people can say words out loud. I love family and tradition. Like anyone can say those words out loud. But then when there's like an actual, what I would call an IQ test moment, where maybe it's something like Gaza or Iran or something like that, where like, no, we need to bomb the shit out of them. Bomb the shit out of them. And they're lying and being fucking snake-like, and no offense to snakes, slithering around trying to make their point become reality, right? That makes me question everything else this motherfucker says. Guess what, Tucker? Mark Levin could say things out loud to sound like he's reasonable, or like, I'm just a good old American dad person. But meanwhile, he's saying, slaughter those kids over there. And guess what? If you point it out to him, without hesitation, he will cut you off to say propaganda as a counterpoint. We've seen it already. Now, regular people that I'm aware of would consider the point at least a little bit. They'd consider the point at least a little bit. This guy is auto-answered, no, Israel is protecting themselves. Maduro's
Jordan,
gotta go. Hamas has to go.
Jordan, you don't understand. They are against abortion because it's killing a baby, and they're for the death penalty because they need to show people that killing is wrong. What did George Carlin say about this? Pro-life, death penalty, pro-life, death penalty. Somebody's losing ground here. These things don't fit together.
Well, it's just like, once again, someone could actually believe in the death penalty, or believe we need to go to war with Venezuela, or believe we need to slaughter fucking Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank. Someone could actually believe that. But Mark Levin, I don't believe him, bro. I don't believe him. This is, in my opinion, this is not an authentic opinion or authentic expression. It comes off as like it's his job. Like he's paid to say certain things instead of like just acting in the world, just being a person in the world. It smells like he's fucking acting for the sake of whatever apparatus. Hey guys, you can accept people with different opinions. That's fine. But can you accept someone that's being inauthentic with you, aka lying, being full of shit in front of your face? Is that ever acceptable to anyone? Think of the most creepiest gangster of. Think of it like Genghis fucking Khan or something. Even he's like, don't bullshit around me. Be honest. I might torture you because of your honesty, but be fucking honest. I might cut your fucking head off for saying the wrong shit, but he doesn't want to be lied to. Who does? No one wants to be fucking lied to. Even the creepy of the creepiest don't want to be fucking lied to. But for some reason, that's a standard that no one's fucking looking for, apparently. Apparently, Tucker. I mean, he's kind of saying it, but like, Mark Levin? If you don't smell full of shit artist right there, I don't know what to fucking tell you. Oh, me and Mark just disagree. Do you? Do you really? I don't think it's a matter of disagreement. I think it's a matter of this guy will stick to these talking points and put a fucking blockade in front of you if you say the wrong thing, Tucker. He will use any tactic possible. Propaganda, lying, whatever, distraction, whatever's necessary to shut you the fuck up, that guy would use. In my humble opinion. How the fuck is that like just some sort of like, just disagreement of ideas? Nah, bro. He can say I love my family all day and night. I'm considering everything that guy fucking says as possibly being sus. Straight up. I hope he does love his family, by the way. I hope it isn't like a trinket or a ornament
Or prop.
or a prop for his fucking TV personality or radio personality, whatever the fuck he does. That'd be scary. But guess what? That can happen. In fact, that probably has happened. And to ignore that possibility is just us saying, hey, man, let's repeat the same mistakes we've done already. Let's repeat it over and over and over again. Dummies. Dumb. All right. Here's more of Tucker answering questions, I guess. Maybe this guy has a follow-up question. No offense to the guy, but he's like a lame. I'm not even saying I'm saying the questioner. Although Tucker's kind of lame too, but the questioner, right? Where they don't know what's the army saying? They don't know their asshole from their elbow. They don't know. They don't know enough. And Tucker, you have opportunities to like tell these guys about things outside of Israel. You fucking dummy. Not just Israel. There's geopolitical maneuverings happening all over the world. And some people might start with the guy that's sitting in office right now as the head of the United States, right? Our president, if you will. Wouldn't you start there? That guy has been a part of crimes that have nothing to fucking do with Israel. Maybe the gangsters that live in Israel, but it's also a part of the gang with the gangsters in Saudi Arabia or South America or Canada or Europe. These gangsters stay working together, but somehow let's focus on Israel for some fucking reason. I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's like, yo, the people that were actually calling out things that Israel was doing before October 7th, by the way, ignored. A lot by the quote-unquote right wing. A lot of it ignored. Except for the more, like, outskirts right wing. But either way, it's like it was kind of ignored for mainstream in general. And it's like, now that you guys are looking at this stuff, Tucker, Candace, or fans of these guys, or fans of the right-wing Republican Party and all that shit, now that it's an issue, I mean, it was an issue, but now that you realize it was an issue, you're hyper-focused on it, and you're ignoring all the other fucking problems that exist. Trump's gonna break his own record for fucking strikes. Missile strikes in fucking Somalia. He's gonna break his own personal fucking record that he set in his first term, which broke Obama's record. Actually, wait, was it? Okay, I think third place might have been actually Biden. Like, Trump broke Obama's record when he first got into office. Then I think Biden broke Obama's record too, but not as much as Trump. And then Trump came in and he's obliterating the fucking record. Now, a lot of people say, like, what the hell do we have to do with Israel? What the fuck do you have to do with Somalia? How about that? They don't ask that because it's not being parroted by the talking heads that they watch so often. I'm sorry for talking so much, but it is what it is. You motherfuckers need to wake the fuck up. It's embarrassing at this point. And we have to sit back and wait for dumb fucks like Tucker Carlson to figure it out. No, Tucker's smart. Sure he is. Brilliant. I'm going to call him slow, though. Like, he's a quote-unquote late bloomer, if you will. He's late to the game. He's talking about shit that he spit on those people for talking about it years before. Literally. From 9/11 to Israel to all these topics, right? The corruption in Washington. Like, come on.
20 years ago, if you criticized American foreign policy at all, Tucker and fucking Bill O'Reilly would be first in line to tell you that you hate America and that you want the terrorists to win.
And it's
Fuck
crazy.
out of here.
Very similar cadences, too. It's kind of crazy. I mean, well, Bill O'Reilly didn't change, right? He's still Bill O'Reilly. But Tucker claims to have changed. I hope he did, actually. I really do hope he did.
I picked those two names out of the air because back then those two were like
Prominent names.
They
for sure.
Yeah, they were like major primetime figures. Like you couldn't get away from them.
It was like, listen, man, Tucker, I hope you changed. I hope you changed for the quote unquote better. I hope you have. But at the same time, you're still far behind. Pause. You still are, man. And it's like, don't get on a podium and say, I figured it out. Because I don't think you did yet. You're still learning shit. Honestly. But whatever. Okay, let's just keep playing. Here we go. Here's more of this. Sorry, Tucker fans. Or come on, man, play the video. Tucker's words are so valuable. I apologize to you guys. Let's keep playing. Here we go.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tucker.
Thanks.
Hey, Tucker. It's great to speak to you.
Thank
my
you.
lot
Great
tickets
state of
fucked already.
Indiana. Let's go Hoosiers.
Let's go.
Hoosiers.
Wait. I'm sorry. I can't let that pass. Before we endorse the Hoosiers, can you explain what a Hoosier is?
No clue.
Ah!
From Fort Lauderdale.
You're not alone. By the way, nobody in Indiana
From
knows
Fort
what a Hoosier
Lauderdale.
is because there's no definition of it. To which I say, go Hoosiers.
Yeah, more importantly, Yo, Lamelo, you can't get 2 more assists, bro? Fuck you.
So I had a big kind of question here.
I like the big ones. Hit me, baby.
Pause.
So I kinda
Holy Christ,
just
pause.
don't see a lot of change between
Hey, yo.
the Biden administration and now the Trump one in foreign policy. You know, we're still giving a shit ton of money to like Israel and Ukraine. Nothing is happening. You know, the war's not stopped. He promised it'd be done in a day, and it's, I don't know, how many months?
I like this question already.
8 months or something like that. It's a long time. Your dad was in the CIA, and I was wondering, does the government even want war to stop? Do they want conflicts to end? It seems like we have a difference of interests where we're getting told one thing and the other is happening, and I feel like there's not enough communication between different sects of government, and I really think the deep state's controlling everything, and we have no control.
Okay, so we have a Nick Fuentes fan rolled up in flip-flops and a Nike jumpsuit. he's like, yeah, we're funding Ukraine and Israel. Your dad worked for the CIA. It's like, what? A random. All right, let's see what Tucker does with that. Here we go.
What the fuck are we supposed to do with these people?
Yeah, but Tucker likes the big ones, so. All right, here we go.
Well, let me start at, obviously, you probably sense that I agree with a lot of that. Obviously, leave my father out of it. I'm gonna have to kick your ass, which I could do, by the way, if you bring him up again, because he was a wonderful man, whatever he did for a living. So I really do hate that. But leaving that aside, and don't test me, son.
Yeah, you're not fucking fighting anybody.
I hate to say I agree with a lot of what I think you probably know.
Don't
I
even
agree
pretend.
with a lot of what you've said, and it's enormously frustrating. It's shocking, actually. And I do know, I'm not shilling, I just happen to know some of the people who work in the administration who are people who agree with you strongly. I think most Trump voters agree with you. That's why they voted for Donald Trump in the first place. And no pointless wars was not just a thing he said at one campaign stop. It was a pillar of his campaigns and of MAGA itself. I mean, what is MAGA? There's a mad scramble, particularly since Charlie's passing, to define what this is and to read some people out of the movement. You're not MAGA. Well, what is MAGA? Well, MAGA is 5 things, okay? MAGA is America first, which means Americans should put no country before America. American interests come first. That's not a crazy idea.
Yes, it is. That's actually pathological, especially for Christians. It's very pathological. You put empathy first, right? Care for others first. But anyways, let's keep going. Okay,
Even the idea that they're America first is a fucking laugh.
Well, I'm just saying, like, the idea of it is still pathological. Right?
Oh, I'm not denying that.
If someone's like bloody and bruised on your front porch, what are you supposed to do as a Christian? I would hope, well, forget about Christian, as a decent person, you'd try to look after them, right? I would hope.
Yeah, but I would hope your first thought is to try and find a fucking doctor or something.
Yeah, I would hope so. But whatever, okay. One's America first. Let's keep going.
You have to see if they're illegal first.
And by pointless, I mean
ass backwards.
wars fought on
means you're
behalf
running
of
from
an
Jesus.
ideology or another nation are totally unacceptable. They weaken this
You're
country.
barreling away from Jesus at Mach 3.
Wars fought because somebody running a country is bad. Okay, is bad.
He's talking about Israel.
World leaders bad. All right. Yeah. No. It's impoverished. It's dramatically weakened this country. Its social fabric, its treasury. It's killed so many Americans, and it's really weakened America's position globally. So no pointless wars. Bring back American jobs, right? Of meaningful jobs. The call centers have moved to South Asia. AI's crushing the lawyers. What do Americans do for a living? Like, think deeply about that and work to make work a reality for people. I mean, you all are, I assume, still in college. Wait till you graduate. I have a child who just graduated college. Once a week, I'm like, how many of your friends, and these are all like smart, pretty affluent, kind of connected, cute girls. How many of your friends have jobs in New York City? 4 out of 10. That's a disaster, actually. And someone needs to be thinking about that deeply, and the promise of MAGA was that somebody would. and then of course immigration. Like you have to control who comes in and out of your country, or else you're not a country. And I know that it's considered highly controversial to say that the population of America is being replaced by people from other countries, but it's not controversial. It's a mathematical fact, and the numbers are taken by the US Census.
Wow.
And that's just true. Now, some people are for it. I'm against it. I'm from here. I'm against that. I'm against replacing the current population. And it's happening in this country. It's completely happening in Canada, New Zealand, and Australia, and the UK. It's happening to the English-speaking world. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but I'm totally opposed, and so is everyone who voted for Donald Trump. That's not a conspiracy theory. It's a mathematical reality. And stop it.
How are you measuring that?
And the fifth pillar of MAGA,
Makes
just
it
to
up
be
as it
totally
goes.
clear, is free speech, because it's our birthright as Americans. And so when we talk about
Yeah, but, like
cancel
what defines
culture
somebody?
or the
Like what defines them being replaced? Like what is he
They're
considering himself or versus others? Like what's replacing? Like Americans were immigrants. So like who is he counting and who's he not counting?
he means white men, Jesse.
He
White
means
people.
fuck you, I got mine.
Like likely most of the statistics are heavily measured by things like that, like race and that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it didn't even mention that shit. Like, but I guess maybe that was supposed to be obvious.
Well, we're
Just
dealing with a lame here, and yeah, I don't think he's even answering the kid asked an interesting question about like how come the policies from the last administration are still being reflected in this administration, as in like
yeah.
the same policies keep carrying over from one presidency to the next, but these guys on campaigns claim to be mortal enemies, right?
Yeah.
But Tucker has not approached that answer to that question yet. He's not approaching it yet.
But we've been seeing more of these turning point, like setups, different speakers.
Yeah.
The questions that are coming up are like like this. It's they have to keep dancing, right? They have to keep so you pivot to like America, speaking about Jesus. They'll pivot to other things, which will get everybody to clap. But like, yeah, it's interesting how like different it is what like regular people say versus politicians or like these guys, they're representatives.
Yeah. Well, this guy is supposed to be different, Jesse. That's the thing.
Yeah, but
The audience views him
yeah,
as like he's different. He's not the mainstream. He's not the government.
uh,
He says controversial things because he believes in truth and all that shit. That's what they
no,
view
I'm talking
Tucker
about the guy
Carlson as.
like standing right in front of everybody. Like I know he does some things like that, but like I'm seeing what his job right there is, like what he's
Probably to
doing.
keep us in a left-right paradigm. And the thing that makes you a rebel nowadays is questioning Israel and their actions. That makes you look like, yeah, this guy stands for truth. Meanwhile, the other things you just heard him say, right? Doesn't bring up
Like,
the
I
cause of
can't
why
even.
people immigrate to countries, right? Or why people might leave their fucking homes to join another country. Doesn't bring that up at all. No nuance, no context, no idea about the fucking government selling drugs in this country and then blaming random Venezuelans for the drug problem. All right, it's just no mention of that shit. But my bad, Joe. Go ahead.
And then we. I was gonna say, and then we, blow up a fucking random fishing boat
Yeah.
and just play pretend all day.
I hope he brings that. He's most likely will bring that up, possibly, but
If he
it's gonna
doesn't, I'm gonna
lack
be
something.
very disappointed.
It's gonna lack some stuff, I think, of information, and the whole drug trade in the United States has been going on for a long time now, and we have direct connections to the U.S. government being a major player in drug trafficking
Oh
in the
yeah,
U.S. and the Southern Hemisphere and all that stuff.
it's like
So, what are we doing?
where the fuck do you think all that crack cocaine came from back in the '80s when that shit was a big scare?
Exactly, but I don't. Will Tucker bring that up? I don't think so. And it's like either you're lame, as in you can't put 2 and 2 together, or something else. Something like purposely full of shit versus accidentally giving out, let's be real, omissions of information, if you will. Information
They
while
bumped another
lacking certain
boat.
things. Yeah, they did. I know. I saw that. Beautiful, huh?
And, al-
Genius.
and also, I got to call a spade here. You can't even really call it a left-right paradigm when the picture that a lot of these fuckers are trying to paint of the left-right political spectrum begins and ends with the Democrats and Republicans, respectively. The Democrats are
Exactly.
not a left party. They have never been a left party. I would love for somebody to come up. You know what? I would love for Matt Hunter to show up in the comments and try to dispute it.
No, they've never been to the left, and I don't think
Yeah.
Republicans have never been to the right. Let's just be honest about that. These guys say the words that are necessary. I love family and country and guns. They say the words that people want to hear, but did they actually practice? Like, what you're hearing, right? The question was about, like, hey, Donald Trump promised these things, and he's not delivering, which means he doesn't actually believe in those fucking things. It's a misnomer to say the right is actually following the quote-unquote right wing. They're not actually doing that. They're saying, fuck you, you're not on my team. These guys are on my team. And he's going to point to Barack Obama, Tony Blair, George W. Bush, Benjamin Netanyahu. Those are the actual teammates. The corporation, the Kraft family, like these are the actual teammates. It's not really
Well,
right versus left, but yeah, God.
what I mean when I talk about left-right politics is their relationship to power. Because I'm gonna dig into the history behind these terms, but just stick with me a little bit. The left-right divide is that language originally came from back during the days of the French Revolution, where the people that were for the monarchy in France ended up collating on the right side of the aisle. The people that were against the monarchy and wanted to dissolve it ended up collating on the left side of the aisle.
Okay.
So, generally speaking, the left wing critiques power, they criticize it, and the further left you go, the more you're going to see a willingness to outright dismantle it. Whereas the right wing is generally in defense of the people that are in power, in defense of the hierarchy that we have. And the further right you go there, you start encountering like theocrats, monarchists, fascists. I'm sorry, I have to call a spade a spade. That's just where these things are. They're supposed to be descriptive.
Fair enough.
I'm done.
It's fair enough, but I will go to regular people and I will look for, do you believe in the thing you're saying or the thing you claim to believe in? And if that doesn't work out, if that doesn't pan out, then I can't call you anything. I'm going to call you like, oh, you're lying to me. You're not authentically this or authentically that. I have to deny them that. If I feel, well, not deny, like not fully deny them, but like in the sense of like, based on what I believe and what I've heard you talk about and your behaviors and all that stuff, and your decision making, based on the way I look at things, like, yeah, you're not actually on a political spectrum because you're not actually engaging in politics. You're engaging in corruption or whatever, right? Lying, full of shitness, devil worshipping, if you will. You're engaging in that, so thus you're not actually on that spectrum. And I understand the little French Revolution shit, and
Yeah, that's just the history behind the terminology that is generally used.
that's fair enough, but people are supposed to question. I don't care what fucking spectrum or what you believe in or what your economic system you believe in is. If you don't question liars, then what the fuck are we actually doing? Everyone better question liars if they believe them to be lying. Everyone better question that. I don't care if you're conservative or liberal or whatever the fuck the terms are. If you're not questioning people that are lying to you, that you believe are lying to you, then what's your fucking point then? You are useless.
Silence, liberal.
It's just certain things come down to the human level. Everything else, left and right, should just be straight up like logistics and techniques or what's the idea? Fucking forgetting the fucking efficiency. There we go. Like, what idea is more efficient in this circumstance? Sometimes it might be left leaning, sometimes it might be right leaning. But we can't even get to that because we're dealing with liars and full of shit artists. You can't even get to like what's more efficient. But when it comes to like anyone lying, I think everyone should say, "I don't like that." Hey man, do we bomb this baby over here in this crib over here? Do we blow it up? Baby in a crib, do we blow it up? I hope everyone says no. I hope.
You would think.
And it has nothing to do with left or right. That's straight up like, yo, that's fucked up. No, I'm not doing that. After that,
one of the gripes I have with the left-right model is that a lot of people forget how many axes there are. So it's like, are you a nationalist or are you an internationalist? You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but like, I think that's so far away from the actual problem here. That works in a healthy world, but we're nowhere near that. We're nowhere near like healthy, non-pathological fucking behaviors. We're nowhere fucking near it. So thus, we can't even approach things like, hey, how should our economic system work that benefits as much people as possible? We can't even get there because the motherfuckers that are arguing it are like full of shit guy over here on the left, full of shit guy over here on the right. That's your
they're shaking their dicks in front of your face and they're laughing about it.
If you don't try to approach corruption, guess what? You're fucked. Because you can't actually have an efficiency argument when things are not actually based on efficiency. It's based on maybe helping out a certain amount of people versus saying fuck everyone else. Like, it is what it is. But yeah, we're here.
You know that old Marxist slogan, "Workers of the world unite."
I've heard of it.
You know that one?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, that's an internationalist sentiment, which is to say, people of the world should just cooperate together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I'd be willing to hear the argument. So, well, you guys should just take care of your country, and I'll take care of my country. You can make an argument for that, but we can't even get to those arguments. We can't even get to the debate between internationalism versus nationalism. We can't even get to those debates because the motherfuckers that are saying these things are full of shit. They'll say whatever. Like, Trump will use communism or socialism as a fucking, based on its like base form, surface level definition of these things. He will use those things to benefit him and his fucking buddies. Just like Obama will use quote unquote free market, on the surface definition to benefit him and his fucking buddies. It doesn't. They don't give a fuck about those arguments. How do we win? That's what those guys are probably saying. How do we win?
I can promise you right now that fucking Donald Trump and a bunch of them are never ever gonna get to the surface level definition of communism. Because if they did, they would have to contend with actual Marxist political theory. Because
you're saying like workers owning the means of production.
Yeah. And
so when Trump buys 20% of Intel, what's that? On paper, that's saying America, as in the worker, owns 20% of Intel. Meaning the money will come back to us. On paper. Not in reality, but on paper. They'll use whatever the fuck it takes, Joe. Whatever it takes to get the shit done. For them. Not for us. It is what it is.
And also, it's not just a question of who owns it, but to what ends are those things being used?
I'm saying...
Because...
God.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
I was going to say one of the things that that a lot of Leninists were going to do, were doing in Soviet Russia very early on, is they would use capitalism as a means to build up productive forces, and then the state would assume control eventually.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
No, I understand. It's just it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense in the sense of like people behaving in the world. It makes sense theoretically on paper, but if you don't get rid of corruption, right? If George W. Bush is leading the revolution for Marxism, guess what? You're fucked. They'll use it to benefit themselves. You're fucked. So thus,
George Bush
it
leading
can't
the
work.
revolution for Marxism.
Well, it's actually like an old joke I used to say of like, yeah, what do you do about this when George W. Bush is now one of your people in there? He subverts the entire project of what you're trying to do. It ceases to be that project anymore. Now it's something different. And that's what, when people that are like hardcore free market everything, right? When they're hardcore that direction, they're looking at the George W. Bushes in the other team's camp. If someone's hardcore Marxist or communist or whatever the fuck, or socialist, you're looking at the George W. Bushes in the free markets camp. You guys are looking at like you're looking at it, but you're saying that's what their team is, instead of like that guy right there is full of shit. You're not dealing with you're not weeding out the corruption shit first. And guess what? People's only sense of like dealing with that is systemic itself. What if George W. Bush is the overseer of systemically rooting out corruption? You're fucked again. This is what happens on repeat throughout history. And we're too fucking stupid to see that shit. On paper, I'm sure there's beautiful ideas from all these different places in the world and people that are interesting and come up with interesting things and interesting ideas and all that shit. I'm sure there's millions of them. Millions of like ideas that are interesting. But guess what? If George W. Bush is the fucking guy in there, guess what? You have a wrench in your fucking cogs at that point. Is that a pause? It's a pause. Fuck it. It's fucked. Because that has to be dealt with first.
I was gonna say, with the way that capitalism just functions mechanically, I think a compelling argument could be made that there really is no such thing as a free market.
No, but it could if the entire world is healthy, Joe. Let's say quote unquote healthy, right? I'm doing like a very vague definition of healthy here. Like, you wouldn't need taxes, would you? Because people would freely give, like, hey man, I make enough money, I'm gonna help you out. No, it's not being taxed. I'm purposely on my own volition, along with other people with their own volition, also handing out money to other people to make sure they live okay or live a decent life. But in other systems, like, oh, let's tax that. And in that healthy version, it'd be like, hey, I love giving taxes because it helps out people that are less fortunate. So I love giving taxes. It's the same thing. It's the same fucking phenomenon. It's the same thing.
I was going to say, at that point, if people were that healthy, you could honestly probably just get rid of money altogether.
Or whatever. But how does that come about? It can't be taking a bunch of misshapen fucking broken fucking toys and say, this will be the guys that'll lead us here. That can't be the answer. People have tried every single version of these things. When the right wing, free market person, and they see like, oh, look at Mao, 1 billion dead in China. See that?
Yeah, that number is actually that whole thing is actually overblown.
If it's 2 people, Joe, it's a problem, right? If it's 2 people, it's a problem. Either way, it's like they have a thing to point to, right? They can say, look at that. See, this is what happens when you do this. Because they're not. They're not engaging with the idea like maybe that motherfucker's unhealthy. Same thing from the other side when they're like, look at Milton Friedman. Look at his, economic system. Look at trickle down economics from Ronald Reagan. It's like You think Reagan's fucking healthy? They're not engaging with that. Instead, they're just saying, look at the system. Look what the system does. Instead of like, yo, these motherfuckers are here subverting it the whole time. They're subverting it. That's what I'm talking about. They don't actually address the actual thing that's causing the problems in the first place. We can't actually scientifically point out like what is the more efficient system? What is better? What is more healthy? We can't actually do it because there's a bunch of cunts running around here that are engaging in all different versions of these economic systems. So we don't actually get the answer of like what is the better thing to go with. We don't fucking know. Because you can't eliminate George W. Bush from the fucking equation. You can't do it. All right, go ahead, guys. Sorry. I'm in rant. It's a pet peeve of mine that this topic in particular, I get really animated about it because it's like we're missing the fucking thing.
Getting animated about something that matters to you. How dare you?
It's like making a basketball team and you're like, hey, man, my playbook is perfection. It's so perfect. It works so well. Meanwhile, you have a player shaving points. You have a player trying to lose on purpose on your team. How good is that system anymore? It has to be like because people are actually following the thing. They're actually believing in it. They're actually going with it. Honestly. But if they're full of shit, guess what? It fucks the entire thing up.
I was going to say, more importantly, knowing what the fuck it is.
Well,
or
we haven't
more importantly,
gotten
what it's
there,
not.
Joe. Joe, we haven't gotten there yet. That's what I'm saying.
We compare systems. They're not like we say this system or that system, and we never actually create these systems because they're not real. And the best point you just made is, well, if we were healthy, we wouldn't need money. So that means that we do need money, right? Like because of how things are. But what the hell is money? It's just made up.
We made it up.
Like it's actually faith based. Like you're receiving this
A
money.
dollar is only a dollar because enough people think it's a dollar.
Yeah. So you believe it has value and that somebody else is going to. It's all faith. It's all agreement. So you can't trust people enough. So you use this proxy paper as a way to say, okay, now I trust you. But it's still just paper. So we fool ourselves. And so like in reality, the system is just people, no matter what the mechanics or the rules that we set up. Like the system is people. Like everything else is just fantasy.
I agree.
Yeah, humans came up with it.
And humans have to act in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's obviously going to inherit human flaws.
No, it's okay. Sure, maybe there's like a efficiency problem, but like I said, we're not even at the efficiency part of the argument. I wish we were. We're not there. We're like, okay, listen, you're not full of shit. I'm not full of shit. Let's argue like what's the best way to make sure grandma and grandpa and son and daughter and mom and dad all can like pursue the things they want to pursue. Right? Without some sort of like, knife in their back for trying to do so. Right? Like what is the best way to like make that come about? Because as far as I understand, the quote unquote free market people are actually aiming at the same goal. They're just saying like, hey man, let them be fully quote unquote free, right? To own their own property and they have all the opportunity to take advantage of the things around them to get the sports car they want or to get the house they want or whatever the fuck. That's the idea. I'm pretty sure. It's like, okay, I understand that, but once again, if George W. Bush is funneling money towards himself behind your back, it's going to fuck it up. Same goes with any other system. If they're taking advantage of other people in the name of that system, guess what? And it's allowed to happen, guess what? The system itself is fucked. It is fucked. It's such a neutral thing. And once the hand of a person, of someone with, choice or volition touches the thing, it changes instantly. And if it's not, if that person doesn't have integrity and honor, and they refuse to lie or bullshit people, mistakes can happen. But like being dishonest and bullshitting people, that's something that's extremely preventable. Extremely preventable. If you if you never deal with that, nothing's gonna work. Someone will take advantage of someone else at some point in the links of the chains. At some point in the chain, someone's gonna take advantage of someone, and it makes the entire thing fucking crumble. It does. And there's no system to fight that thing. That requires human volition to, like, you know what? I'm not doing any fucking bullshit. I'll be honest. No corruption. But that's such a standard that apparently is impossible to happen. You know what people do? They say, fuck that. We can't do, like, people are going to be dishonest. They are what they are. Human nature, they're going to be dishonest. So let's use this system to try to mitigate the dishonesty. Meanwhile, they don't actually mitigate it. In fact, they give opportunities to other dishonest motherfuckers that will just take advantage of it. And we see this over and over and over again. But then again, I'm just some guy on the internet. I say we continue here. We just burned a shit ton of time just going there.
Yeah, we did.
Ranting. But
then, like, think of it this way. One of the issues that I really have with capitalism, and this is like my major fucking gripe, especially with the kind of people that really get to pull on all the levers of power, is that at a certain point the system becomes the sickness. In my mind, it has become
I absolutely
sick.
disagree. I absolutely disagree. It's people that do that, not the system. Guess what? Bill Gates can give away his money to regular people if he wants to, but he chooses not to, right? He could do that.
Well, that's why I said it becomes. That's why I said it becomes the sickness.
No, it doesn't become anything. It doesn't become
there.
anything that we don't give it. It's the quote unquote system is just us behaving in the world. That's all it is. If everyone said like, "Hey, man, let's make things like quote unquote financially fair for everyone," they could do it in the system of capitalism. They could do that. So the system is just there. It's neutral. It's non-acting. We just, based on our own imaginations, like, hey man, if I don't do this, this other business is going to take me over and crush me, or they're going to make me poor. So I gotta like one up them, to maintain my business while knocking them down because they're competition or whatever the fuck. It's not a system doing that. That's people behaving. You could see it outside of, once again, kids with cookies on the fucking playground. Is that a fucking system? The little kid cookie system. Is that a thing? No, it's not. It's just kids behaving around each other. As like, hey man, maybe I want this cookie for later. Why would I give him some? Right? It's like that's people behaving. That's what we're dealing with, Joe. In my humble opinion, that's what we're actually dealing with. And thus going after the system itself is not actually doing anything. It's the people that are involved in these things. That's where shit goes. Otherwise, you're most, in my opinion, you're most likely bound to, all right, capitalism. Damn, things aren't working out. Let's switch it up. Socialism, then and eventually communism. Those fail, and you go back to capitalism. I told you guys capitalism was the way to go. They switch back to that, and it's like no one's addressing the problem. We're the fucking problem. We're the oncoming evil. Like, straight up. That is where we're at, dude. We're the fucking problems, but we don't want to address it. I don't know if it's too scary or if it's like, damn, that's just gonna, hurt my Monday night, bro. Trying to watch Raw. Pause. Trying to watch Monday Night Raw, and me thinking about what is up with me, and thus recognize what's in me with other people. Maybe that's too scary of a thing to navigate or to negotiate with. So thus we're like, yo, it's a system. Anyways, back to Raw. And they unpause the fucking video. Like, that's, I'm telling you, that's where we're at. I leave room for everything. I could be absolutely wrong. Maybe we're all fucking robots and it is systemic. It's system based. But I swear to God, if, I don't care, a cop there's police officers that have, did all the fucking training. They've done criminal law in college, right? They know the do's and don'ts of what you do as a police officer. But if you spit on his shoe and say, fuck you and fuck your mother too, that guy might crack your fucking skull open. Because what? He's a fucking person. The officer thing is a fucking role. It's not who he is as a person. He might crack your skull open for saying the wrong shit to him on the wrong day. Just like systems. They're just like a role thingy. But guess what? There's real people actually interacting in there. And, some people might behave, abhorrent, I guess, to the idea that that regular people believe in. And guess what? They might call them suckers for doing so. These fucking suckers, they don't know how to play the game. I know how to play the game. I keep winning. I know how to play it. They don't. Thus, I can take advantage of them because they don't know how to play the fucking game. This is the real game. Not the stupid fucking systemic shit. Trump can claim to be a capitalist. I'm a capitalist, free market. But guess what? Him as a private businessman would take subsidies from the government. Is that private business? Is that free marketism? No, it's not. But guess what? He'll take it anyways. Because the point is to win the fucking game. Duh. Win the game.
That's what the when I say capitalist, I'm not talking about whether you believe something. A capitalist is somebody who owns and controls large amounts of capital. So, like, even if you believed in capitalism, Jordan, under Marxist terminology, you would not be considered a capitalist because, I have to call a spade a spade. You don't own or manipulate large amounts of capital. You know what I mean?
I understand, but when you say that, when you say capitalist, you do realize how other people will react to that. So thus, you're losing ground there. Why not call it what it is? Like, oh, this guy behaves corruptly, and that's how he has so much money. Fuck capitalism. If we lived in a socialistic, system, wherever the fuck, right? Which we kind of do. It's kind of partial, right? Whatever. The point is, this person will take advantage of whatever the fuck is there, because that's what you or me or whoever believes is the character of this person. Their character says, like, it doesn't matter what it is, they'll take advantage of it. If you say, oh, it's a stupid capitalist, what happens? They're not looking at the actual problem. Instead, they're looking at systemic shit. And if they get their little system one day and they don't, like, look around for George W. fucking Bushes anywhere, and those guys rise to the top and take advantage of everything, guess what? Now you have, Antifa, but they're right-wingers instead. Antifa capitalists. Like, yo, we need capitalism right now because this thing is corrupt. That's what happens. On repeat. Throughout history. On repeat. They don't actually address the actual fucking problem. In my humble opinion. That's where I'm at. Yeah. Like, once again, you can use technical definitions of things and all that stuff, but guess what? We're not there. It's just not there, dude. There's the idea, the corruption stuff is just right there in front of our faces. And actually, once again, it's simple kindergarten psychology of, like, this guy looks like he's the one. Why? Because look how bad that other person is. And the same goes with these systems. Meanwhile, they're not actually, like, looking at, like, what is the most efficient way to deal with problem A, problem B, problem C. Roads, education, foreign policy, whatever. How do you actually deal with those topics? Instead, it's just blanket one side or blanket another. And we all lose. Because George Bush is allowed to run around and do backflips and celebrate right in front of our faces. You know what George W. Bush does now? He paints. He fucking paints. He paints portraits and pictures and I'm sure nature and all this shit. And that guy is like very directly involved in the unaliving of a shit ton of people. You know what he does? He paints. Now he's chilling.
And he should be in jail.
I mean, I have my problems with prison itself. I don't think that addresses the problem at all either.
Well, my notion of what a prison should and most importantly should not be is very different from the way a lot of people practice it. What I would do is, he can have it. You can have it. You can have food that doesn't kill him. He can have clean water. You can have a reasonably comfortable place to sleep. And he can even hang out with the other prisoners, but he is not allowed to communicate with the rest of the outside world. And everybody is going to know exactly what the fuck he did.
For me, that's torture, and I can't ever go with that. I wish there was a healthy society that's just like, no, George, walk around, go get groceries, go do your thing. Do your thing. It's just no one wants to talk to you. But don't worry, there's Jordans in the world. I'll talk to you, bud. Good luck, but I'll talk to you. No problem. Right now, I'm your only friend, George. You're stuck with Jordan. Good fucking luck to you.
So you'll take him home and care for him and feed him and name him George?
Now, here's the thing. I let him have his own. Yeah, keep your mansions, keep your properties, keep all that shit. But it's gonna be mighty lonely, very, very lonely. But don't worry, Jordan will hang out with you. No big deal. I'll hang out with you. You're not gonna like it, but I'll hang out with you. I'm gonna say pause for that too. By the way, pause.
You must name him George.
Well, it's just like, yeah, good luck. When you're the only people that actually care to talk to you anymore are people like me, you're fucked if you engaged in corrupt bullshit before. You're fucked. But you're also, that's a major pause too. But there's a silver lining to these things. As in, hey man, let's engage with this painting stuff. Can you get better at it? What is excellence to you, George W. Bush? Is this therapeutic? I'll ask him so many questions. His head will fucking burst, probably. Pause. Like, God damn it, leave me alone. I'm like, all right, I'll leave you alone. My bad.
God damn it, Jordan. Leave me alone. I'm trying to paint this dog.
Like, yeah, so what happened with Iraq, though, man? What's up with that? God damn it. Hey, man, no one else will talk to you. I'm the only guy here. What do you want? Like, what do you want from me? Right? You'll be the only... You'll be the only castaway in fucking Texas. Hey, man, you can either hang out with Wilson, the fucking volleyball or soccer ball or whatever the fuck. Or you can talk to me. I'm a real person. I'll talk to you. Anyways, all right. Let's finally get back to...
we've gotten off on...
pause.
We went off on a whole fucking...
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what to call this. Tangent doesn't really cover it.
We'll call it crimes of passion. Pause.
Jordan, they're not bringing back passions.
No. All right. Let's keep playing this. Here we go.
Woke. The woke, or against the, what does that even mean? It means people who are attempting to abridge my ability to speak freely about what I actually believe. That's what that is. It's an attack on free speech. And by the way, the second Trump gets elected, all these people show up who I've never heard of, who are MAGA people. I can't hear you. Can you scream louder? I love the solidarity fist. And
don't you interrupt, Tucker.
They're saying Tep is Taos.
I couldn't hear what she said, but this is why I'm such an unpleasant person that brings it out of me, and I'm going to really try to be a nice person to screechy. Oh, I could hear that. Anyway.
Are you trying, Tucker? Just be a nice person. It's not hard.
You know, there's all of a sudden this attempt to limit what people can say in public, and it's by people who claim to be MAGA. It's like insane. And I'm really shocked by it. So again, those are the 5 pillars of MAGA. To be clear, I didn't make them up. Donald Trump articulated them consistently for 10 years, a full decade. He's dominated American politics for 10 years on the basis of those 5 ideas. And a central one of those 5, the 5 pillars of Donald Trump, is no pointless wars. He ran on it. He talked about it extensively. He explained why he thought it, including in interviews with me. And, you know, I will give allowances that the world is super complicated and conflicts are very hard to end. Easy to start, hard to end, which is why you don't enter into them lightly. It's like marriage. Pretty easy to get married, go to Vegas, hard to get divorced. And that is true for wars. And so I will allow that because I'm familiar with some of the details. It's hard, but it's not that hard. And it's not as hard as some people pretend it is. And you know who the bad actors are. Zelensky's a bad actor. Okay, he's a dictator. He's not the elected president of Ukraine.
That's the only person.
He is set about
That was the top of his list.
methodically
I guess.
trying to eliminate traditional Christianity from Ukraine.
Oh, he's trying to get rid
How
of
about no?
Christianity. Okay.
I'm not sending you money for that.
I paused it.
I'm a Christian.
I'm sorry.
No.
I got
It's like, first off, there are so many fucking different forks of Christianity, just ones that I know about. There's probably a whole hell of a lot more that I don't know about. Now in that part of Europe, Eastern Europe, which for the purposes of this, I'm going to say is like generally like Greece and the Balkans and further east.
Hmm.
A lot of them don't practice like his branch of Christianity. They're Orthodox, which means some of their traditions are different and certain holidays are actually in a different place on the calendar. Like we celebrate Christmas on the 25th of December. And I know this because I know somebody whose family does this shit. Because I know a Serbian gentleman whose family celebrates Christmas on January 7th. So
That
what the
is
fuck does he mean? But
That's sacrilegious, Joe. How dare they?
yeah, I know. I've been fighting with this guy for fucking years about it, but
Yeah.
anyway. So what the fuck does he mean by traditional Christianity?
I don't know. I have
His
no
tradition-
idea what's going on in
because the
Ukraine. Christianity, I have no idea.
Well, because I was going to say the whole point of tradition is that you're trying to preserve something and make sure it lives as long as possible. So we just pick the oldest one? Well, guess what, Tucker? You have to celebrate Christmas on January 7th now.
I don't know why Christianity is even brought up. I thought it's more the idea like war leads to a lot of people dying, and a lot of people have died in the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. So we should try to end that. If we're contributing to it, we should stop contributing to it and only contribute to the end of it, if anything. I think should be the answer to that, right?
Blowing people up.
Yeah.
Bad.
If they're fucking gypsies, I don't give a fuck what they are. That's my morality coming out. I don't care if it's like treating Christianity as like a sociological thing instead of like in this case, instead of like, does it matter if they're Christian or not? Does it matter?
It shouldn't.
Like they're using Charlie Kirk's name. They're using Christianity
Okay.
because they
Bryce Kirk.
basically
Got it.
just to loop people into their beliefs, just suck them in.
But Tucker's supposed to be different, Jesse. That's what I'm saying. Like he's supposed to be different, right? And somehow me as a dumb fuck in my room looking at a fucking monitor somehow is outflanking him. That shouldn't happen, right? That should never happen.
Is anyone else listening to him in this way? Like, you hear him talking about war. You hear him talking about
I
Trump's
shouldn't be
5
outflanking him either,
pillars.
but here we are.
Yeah, and it's like he's about to say, like, okay, and he kind of said, well, it's not that hard, right? Like there's something different. But why did he say that it's a pillar for Trump? And he's not mentioning, like, he's alluding to it, but he's not mentioning, like, Trump's got to change what he's doing if he's going to live up to his pillars, right? Like, he's doing the opposite. So,
Yeah.
It sounds like it's going to be like the very next sentence for like the past like 7 minutes. You know, like, That's how I've been hearing this.
I mean, if there's two countries warring and you're giving one a shit ton of money and weaponry, your way to back away from that is to not give them a shit ton of money and weaponry. I mean, that's bare minimum, right? Simple logic. So I understand the idea of him saying it's simple. It is pretty simple. It's just like, yo, don't. But it's like telling Trump to not. Hey, man, don't be a devil worshiper. But that's what I do, baby. It's what I do. Right? But it's like, why not just say like, okay, he is corrupt. His behaviors are blatant corruption. It's pretty easy. That's pretty easy too, Tucker, to say out loud. And good luck fighting me on that idea.
I gotta do corruption, Jordan. It's what I do. I don't know any other way to be.
But he's saying is he's making it sound like, hey, Trump, it's an easy thing to do to not fund a genocide in Gaza. It's easy to not fund that. Just don't fund it. But like, hey, Tucker, it's not hard to say, Trump's full of shit. Not hard to do.
But Jordan, if Trump stops funding a genocide in Gaza, then Miriam Adelson might cry.
But it's actually funny enough, Joe. Like, what I hear from Tucker most of the time is him pointing around Trump, not Trump himself, just people around him. Now, Tucker, are you going to wait for the very last day of his administration to be like, you know what? Maybe Trump wasn't a good guy. It's like, are you going to wait till then to do that? Do it now.
Oh, that's not that shit's not coming until after Trump's dead. Maybe if we're lucky.
It's like, come on, dude. But all right, let's keep playing. Here we go.
And so, again, there's a lot going on, but I think anybody who begins negotiations or attempts to influence negotiations between Russia and Ukraine who takes Zelensky seriously is making a mistake and probably prolonging a war that is basically genocidal for Ukraine. I feel sorry for the Ukrainians. There will be no Ukraine. But Zelensky allowed a law to go through the lawmaking body of Ukraine that legalized the sale of land in Ukraine to foreigners. That's a fact. And now the male population of Ukraine has been so completely decimated. Of course, they lie about the numbers, but hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Ukrainian men have died. That's like, oh, we're going to need to fill Ukraine with foreigners just because we have no labor force. So ask yourself, in a generation, will Ukraine be Ukrainian? Or will it be like Canada, New Zealand, Australia, the UK, and the United States? Will it have turned over in population? Will it be a different country? And the answer is probably.
This demographic replacement shit, I'm sorry, that shit gets me
ancient indigenous
furious.
population and just eliminate them. And that's exactly what they're doing. And no one's saying that, and Zelensky is leading it. So hard no to him. And then on the Middle Eastern stuff, look, we have a lot of leverage, and you sound informed.
I love the clip getting bashed out by the Jazz.
We pay for the whole thing.
So
we're not going to pay for this anymore. Okay?
Love it.
So it's like if my kids.
Oh, he's still answering that question.
You can be like, don't do drugs.
This
or,
motherfucker went 7 and 9
But
from 3.
ultimately, you will find out when you become a parent, which I hope is soon, have kids young. You will find out that your real leverage is economic. You're paying for this crap. And so if it really comes down to it and your kid is just wasting his time in college, you could go nuclear and say, I'm not paying for it. Get a job in the kitchen. What? Kids are.
Your leverage is your morality. If you stand on your principles, if you say like, hey man, I would never just bomb where a child is. I would never just bomb a child, a baby. If you stand by your principle, you're good. Pretty simple. And they would dry up very quickly in Washington. Yeah,
if somebody pays enough.
I know. People will find a way to make sure that it does happen anyways, while claim to be against it. Shout out to Dubster. They'll make sure it happens while also claiming there's no way to stop it. It's like, yeah, because of you fucking idiot. You dummy.
What did I say that one time? Oh yeah. One day, everyone will always have been against this.
Yeah. Beautiful. One day. No one will remember that Tucker was late. Candace was late. A lot of your favorite content creators, very late. On something like Gaza, very late. But don't worry, they're also the answer providers after being so fucking late. Isn't that genius? And in fact, they'll curse out. They'll be like, "Fuck you, Trump. You don't follow what I like." Meanwhile, these are the guys that voted for and campaigned for the fucking guy in the first place. And people will tell me that they'll tell me and the rest of you guys in this Discord to shut the fuck up. Tucker's talking. Candace is talking. Candace figured it out. We were already there, right? We're waiting for people like Candace to catch up too. But they got us for telling them that.
It out.
Yeah, I know.
Candace figured it out, Jordan. After 4 tries.
It's like before Candace figured things out, I'm shitting on her, right, in videos. And her fans will say, "Shut the fuck up." Then Candace, I guess, figures it out. And I say, "Hey, man." Like, wait, this is like something weird about this. And, or like, "Hey, you're late about this, Candace." And they'll say, "Shut the fuck up. At least she's getting it. Shut up. Get out of her way." Heads, I win. Tails, you lose. Either way. All right, here we go.
Every bit as entitled
Genius.
as Netanyahu. You know, what? Work for it?
Groundbreaking stuff.
Oh
But
my
you can
God,
do
Tucker
that.
said Netanyahu's
And
name
sometimes
out
you
loud.
have to do that. And we've reached the point where I think we have to do it because the
Anyone ever
cost to
done
the
that
United
Oh,
States
fuck. That
is
shit makes me
profound.
just want to cry.
So yes, I'm agitated on those 2 questions. I share your frustration, and you don't want to, my father aside, you don't want to live in a country controlled by people whose names you don't know. They work for agencies whose funding is secret. Like, if you actually knew the influence of a couple or more than a couple of federal agencies, some of which you probably never heard of, on American politics and global affairs, you'd be even more freaked out than you are. So yes, I'm upset about it, very. Thank you for pissing me off more.
Can I leave a final remark?
Yeah, of course.
This is something like not political, but I think you like talking about it. Are aliens a religious or extraterrestrial subject?
What?
They're spiritual entities,
They're spiritual
is
beings.
my view, yes.
What?
I don't think they're from another planet. I don't think there's any evidence of that. Or perhaps
I
there are,
don't know
but
how
they've
we
been
got here,
resident
okay?
here for recorded history, and there's every reason to believe.
Jordan, what
for
fucking
eternity,
planet are
and,
we on? I'm forgetting.
This is my belief. And
Hey, listen,
I
I'm
think
with
there's
the-
a
I'm with
lot
the woo-woo,
there.
man.
There's also a lot of lying about it and official disinformation designed to confuse people or make you look ridiculous. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that you read about that
Like, for
subject.
real though,
that
my
is
whole
put
thing about
there in
aliens
order-
is that we have so many stars just in this galaxy, and we've identified and named plenty of other planets already.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that there's so fucking many other galaxies out there. Like Andromeda, like the Large Magellanic Clouds.
Magellan.
At some point, yeah, named for Magellan.
Shout out to Dr. Scholes.
I was just going to say, at some point, extraterrestrial life is almost guaranteed just from law of averages.
I mean, yeah, I could believe that. But he's also going with leaning a little bit more towards the David Icke idea, right? Of
Oh, the fucking reptile
interdimensional,
people.
well, interdimensional beings, I guess, is the idea. And
boy.
I can't say I know, but they'd run from me. That's my only answer. If it's something cool, then fine, you're cool. But if it's something like weird or creepy, they'd run for their fucking lives. They'd run to another dimension after that. Like, yeah, fuck it. Let's get out of the 5th. Let's run to like the 8th. Get out of this fucking dimension. Jordan's here. That's the way I look at it, personally. Either way, let's keep playing. Here we go. Actually, we should. Sucker did like a video on that. Maybe I'll look into that. I don't know.
I'll put it this way. If there's a race of reptile people capable of interdimensional travel, I guarantee you they have much better things to do than come fuck around on this planet.
It's like they show up, they're like, all right, now, we're going to do the most evil plan. Oh, fuck, they're already doing it. Oh shit. Fuck. They walk away. We will finally
Yes, at
get
that
those
point-
dastardly humans. We'll destroy them. Oh fuck! They're already doing it to themselves.
We'll finally control those primates. Reptiles will reign supreme.
Oh no, wait, they already destroyed themselves. Fuck.
We're gonna drop nukes on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Oh fuck! They already.
Oh,
Ah,
fuck,
shit.
we're 80 years too late.
Fuck. Really, guys? Like.
Do you guys even want to survive?
We're gonna make sure that Taylor Swift is the #1 artist. But what? They already
Fuck!
they did it. Fuck. Fuck this. I'm going to Dimension 8, where things get better. For ruining
Fuck this, I'm
aliens'
going
lives.
Fuck this, I'm going to a universe where dogs are supreme and not humans.
We will corrupt. We will
We're gonna
corrupt.
control the world's supply of chew toys.
We will corrupt Lord Emperor Scribble. We will corrupt him and turn his puppy pound into. All right, whatever. All right, here we go. Let's keep on.
To get you off the trail,
Oh,
and I'm not guessing.
Before we
at this,
move
some
off of the
it's been
subject of
declassified.
aliens,
Good.
scientists think they might have discovered evidence of microbial life on Europa.
Okay. Well, listen, Joe. I don't trust those guys either. The Earth is flat. Fuck off. Okay. Fuck right off. Anyways, let's continue. Here we go.
Also, a lot of lying about it.
You guys
and
are
official
stupid.
disinformation
Earth is a
designed
cube.
to confuse people or make you look ridiculous. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that you read about that subject that was put there in order to get you off the trail. And I'm not guessing at this. Some of it's been
What's funny is
declassified.
David
There's
Icke did a lot of
been
work on that, Tucker.
persistent
If you're going to talk to David Icke,
75-year effort by the United States
it's
government
because David Icke doesn't
to
trust you
confuse
either.
the population about what these things are that we can see in the sky. And many people have seen.
I wonder if Tucker even knows who
But
David Icke
after
is.
looking
I'm
into
sure he
it,
does.
you know, pretty extensively for a number of years,
If he
off
does, he's
camera,
keeping quiet.
my conclusion is that they are the spiritual entities that are described, well, in the Old Testament, in Ezekiel, but also, I would say, in the sacred texts of all kinds
They're too pussy, Tucker. Don't worry about
of
it.
religions around the world. This is not like.
I mean, you might have a
basically, I'll
problem,
stop
but
with
I
this,
don't. So I'm just saying.
Our
Send them
culture is
my way,
anomalous
Tucker.
in
How
the
about
sense
that?
we exclude the possibility of a spiritual realm. And that's only been true in the United States since August of 1945 when we dropped the atom bomb, which was the turning point in history.
What
in my
is the
opinion. And it was the beginning of the
synchronicity
total
of
destruction
this?
of the West, which unfortunately we're witnessing
There is
now.
no synchronicity.
And that destruction began with, you know, the same lie that begins all destruction, which is I am God. Hubris is the end, always. You know, it was the point of the Tower of Babel. It's the end of every leader. Every leader who's like, I'm very powerful, I have godlike powers, that leader will be destroyed. And a nation that believes that will be destroyed.
And
the
replaced
atom
with
bomb
some-
gave us
something on
the
the same
sense,
caliber,
the false sense,
right?
very false sense, that we had absolute power, dominion over nature and mankind itself. And we started making a lot of really bad decisions. And one of the results of that was faith died in the United States. It's resurging now, thank God, literally. But for my whole childhood, I was born
Faith
in
in what?
1969, the year that we walked on the moon. And just kidding, sort of, maybe. I have no
Are you
idea.
tell
I'm not
me
going
that
to find
you don't
out.
believe in the flying spaghetti monster, Jordan?
I'm not going to find out. I've got enough,
I
I've got
do.
enough problems. I don't
But
want
I
to
also
know.
believe
But anyway,
in
the point is, I was born that
the
year,
Atlanta
and for my
Braves.
entire life up until
believe in them,
recently,
too.
like no one I knew in my world, which is like, you know,
Yeah, maybe the
coastal,
Atlanta Braves
affluent,
can save us from that
well-educated,
fucking
not that I'm
mango
well-educated, but everyone else around me
Mussolini.
is. No one ever like talked about God at dinner. That was like the spiritual realm was like kind
I
of
don't
a
understand,
joke
like,
that,
eliminating
is
ideas.
Kind of a
Why not
trailer park
embrace more?
belief or who knows what. They're
Maybe the
handling
whole
snakes.
picture,
They make TV
the whole
shows about it.
painting.
Like no one believed that.
We should
And when
see
you
the
don't
actual
believe
vista.
that, you kind of miss everything because it is
But
real.
we're
whether
stupid,
you
so
want
don't
to
worry
be or
about it.
not. That's literally real. It's absolutely real. It's as real as this podium. And so to
Israel?
someone living even 100 years ago,
Israel?
the idea that these are, of course, angels, demons, they're manifestations of the spiritual battle ongoing since the beginning of time, that would have been obvious. And instead, we're like, maybe they flew in rocket ships from Mars. Do we have a telescope powerful enough to detect that? Oh, shut up. You're missing the obvious, dude. So.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tucker's so charismatic and
I had another dog at one point who if you have my dog in the crowd, oh, that way? Cool.
Hi.
Hey!
You're gonna have to forgive me. I had kind of a cold over the weekend, so
Sorry.
I'm losing my voice.
That's okay.
But I just kind of wanted to ask, I want more insight on this, because I think especially in the age of social media, we're hearing a lot of buzzwords. I think a few examples of that would be words like woke or phrases like owning the libs or whatever. You already kind of touched on what your definition of woke is, but I kind of just want to hear more about that and like how is that attacking your freedom of speech? Who are the people that are like a part of this movement that's attacking your freedom of speech? I feel like we hear woke so much, especially from conservatives. I'm personally not one, but we never really hear like what it means. So
well, bless you.
Why
for
is she
asking
dressed
that
like
question.
2006? What's going
And
on?
just in general, I think that
There's like bell bottoms on.
we should demand a
Jordan Bell
definition
Bottoms are
of
making a
terms.
comeback.
Okay.
Like if you're being attacked for being something, and if you're being punished, especially for being something, it's fair to ask, what do you mean by that thing? Right? You're racist, you're anti-Semitic, you're
I was about to say the whole point
Why don't you
is that
define
we
it for
never
me?
get an
And
actual
woke-
definition for the word woke.
I don't even think I need one. Okay. I don't use the word. It is whatever. But for others using it, I guess they would have fun playing patty cake with each other.
It's been so bastardized that I don't want to fucking use it anymore.
It's woke. Just stay out of movies, guys. Just like do your little political thing in politics world. Just stay away from movies and TV and music and all that shit. That's all. Both woke and anti-woke. You know, stay over there, guys. Your shit is tacky. It's tacky. Artistically, it's fucking tacky. So stay away from it. Ben Shapiro, stop making fucking movies. Let's be honest. Stop making movies. Or like counter movies to wokesters, SJWs, who also need to retire, by the way. Spike Lee, Spielberg, retire. Go away. You, Spike Lee, Steven Spielberg, and Ben Shapiro, please walk off into the sunset together and disappear from art and entertainment forever. Never come back. Leave your works of art there, but everything else, walk away. I beg you to. It's my movie fanness, yeah. Or my moviness in my heart. Either way, let's continue. Here we go.
Like if you're being
How dare you
attacked
be a
for
student
being
of
something,
cinema.
and if you're being punished, especially for being something, it's fair to ask, what do you mean by that thing? Right? You're racist, you're anti-Semitic, okay, well, what is that? Why don't you define it for me? And woke would definitely be in that category. I think thank you for asking that. I can give you the definition that I have in my mind. I think woke has two components. At its core, woke is an attempt by the powerful to make the less powerful shut up.
Oh my god.
That wouldn't be what that's just subjugation, right? That word probably works better than that's what woke is. It's like
that's just being an authoritarian prick.
Okay.
Subjugating people for disagreeing with you. It's being an asshole.
Well, there's fail number one. Okay, let's hear more. Once again, okay,
Tucker's just full of shit.
Well, it's fair. Jesse, I'm trying to be fair here. I'll be fair to Tucker.
And
Okay.
I'm saying it in response to what I'm seeing, not just out of the blue.
Fair enough.
I'm trying to be fair here, but Tucker is making it very difficult. I'm trying to be charitable.
Well, I'm gonna call it a bad start. I'll say that. But let's keep playing. Here we go.
All efforts to stifle speech come from the powerful, not the powerless. What's so interesting about this moment
who are
that we
the
live in,
powerful,
it's been true my
Tucker?
whole life, really, but it's a new innovation in world history where the powerful
I'd say
use
Tucker's
the
gonna-
powerless as a
I want
pretext
celery
to
and
crush
dip right now.
everyone
pause for
else.
It's not.
So what they
May I
do,
ask more
He said that
about
this
yes,
is
ma'am.
new.
Well, when you say the powerful and
the moment that we live in, this has been true my whole life, really, but it's a new innovation in world history where the powerful use the powerless as a pretext to crush everyone else. So what
That's
they
not
do,
new.
The powerful uses the powerless as a pretext. That's been the thing. That's been the thing. Not the thing, but like one of the things
It is far from new.
of psychological abuse of the masses or of anyone. Like that's been the thing. But
Yeah,
okay.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that kind of thing actually led to a couple of major wars early last century. What do you think?
Well, you know, start bringing up systems again. That's what I think is the thing that I'm calling the actual problem. That's how those things happen. I wish it was words, but it's not. But well, it's everything. Humans behaving around each other. But all right, here we go.
this is a pretext to crush everyone else. So what
May
they
I
do.
ask more about?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, when you say the powerful and the powerless, generally we associate wokeness, like you guys say it's like more LGBTQ agenda or more
Right.
diversity of races. How is that the more powerful? Because those are historically oppressed groups of people.
He just said he's
Well,
using the.
that's. I mean, that may or may not be true, depending. I mean, it's probably true in some ways, untrue in others. Certainly not true now.
How is that not true now?
Well, I mean, simply because if you were to, just for example, apply to Stanford Law School, which I would not recommend, but if you were to write an essay about how, growing up queer in a Midwestern farm town.
I've grown up queer in a Midwestern farm.
You should have applied to Stanford Law School. You probably would have gotten in. I'm glad you didn't.
Oh, he's full of shit.
But here's
He's
here's-
playing the
here's
game.
Probably
what I'm
would have
saying.
gotten in
Leaving aside
for
that,
just
I'm
that.
by the way, I would never discount the fact
100%
that there
full
are
of shit,
people who
Tim.
have been victims
I'm-
of bias, obviously.
Leaving room for
I'm
he's just
merely
joking.
saying that big picture
He's joking while
efforts to
trying to push a political
make
message.
other people be
So
quiet
it's not really a
on
joke.
behalf of this
It's a
or that
Schrodinger's joke.
marginalized group
Yeah, it's a
are
veiled, like,
100% paid
I'm being
for
nice.
and encouraged by the richest people in our society. So if you look for, and I'll be very specific in the case of and I can never do the acronym fully, but for the gay lobby in Washington is run out of a building that was right across from my office for many years called the Human Rights Campaign, which is the largest gay lobby in Washington. Who pays for that? Where does that money come from? And they're the ones who
Money.
popularize the idea that people can change their sex if they want to, transgenderism, which at the time was like a pretty boutique idea. There had
That's not
always
what
been
they're saying.
transvestites,
Pause it, Jordan.
always in every society. And
Thank God.
That is not what they're saying. He is conflating sex with gender. Sex is biological. Gender is shit we made up.
I don't know.
That's my inner. That's my inner fucking. My inner linguist gets very angry when people do shit like that.
I don't know, personally. I'm more of if your name's Robert, but you want to be called Bob, and I keep calling you Robert. Yeah, it's kind of fucked up and kind of rude and disrespectful. I just go based on that. Oh, you want to be called this? Fine, whatever. I mean, it's nowhere near. Like I'm looking for existentialism, from individuals, for them to be themselves, their true selves.
You know what the funny thing is, Jordan?
What?
What you just said you do there, that's enough. That's already enough. It's all
Yeah,
that's
but
all these people are asking for, broadly speaking.
it's not enough for me though. I have to rant on them, Joe. But yo, what about like, what's your favorite food? Like, what's your favorite color? Like, be a whole person. And because of the resistance, right? Of like, hey, I want to be known as Barbie now, or I want to be known as John now. Because of the resistance and the pushback, not because of that, because of their first of all, lack of existential development, and the world's resistance to those things of their on the surface social aspects of what they believe in, or what they believe themselves to be. because of that, they get locked into it. It seems like instead of like actually like, who are you? Who actually are you? I don't
What
want.
you're saying is, I can be Darkseid, King of Apocalypse.
What I'm saying is, hey
All right,
man,
time to burn the surface of this planet into ash.
what I'm saying
Yeah, I
is,
get what you're saying.
there are people that are janitors. Is that who they are? Fuck no. So why the fuck am I gonna look like? I don't care about your fucking clothing style, tits or no tits, dick or no dick, whatever. Who are you?
Yeah.
And these
What's going on
motherfuckers are
going on
increasingly.
upstairs?
Well, it's like, well, what's happening in the entire mansion that they don't realize has so many rooms in it. They only live in 2 of them. Like, dude, there's so many rooms here. What are all these? We're like, what is this? But instead, like, typically social conditioning, where once they hear that resistance to the idea of them being Tom or Jane, Thomas Jane, Punisher, whatever, whatever. When they see that resistance, they stop there as like who they are. It's like, no, keep developing. Like, be your full self. All of you. Be the whole you. It's the only way to fucking fly, man. I'm telling you. It's the only fucking way to fly. Shout the Black
Anything
Swan.
less than that is kind of boring.
Exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like men or women have been stuck in roles of mommy or daddy, but meanwhile they're sacrificing who they are for the sake of being mom or dad. And it's
Yeah,
like we gotta
they're also
break out of
killing
that.
themselves at work too.
Exactly. You gotta break out of that shit. And like, what's the point otherwise, honestly? I think there's still a point, for me at least personally, but like overall for them, like what's the fucking point then? But either way, like I understand those are kind of probably the bigger questions, and we're stuck right now with woke or not woke, which is just like, oh god,
Yeah,
horrendous.
I'm probably never gonna win the battle on what the popular meaning of that word is supposed to be, but I'm gonna fight it anyway. You know why? Because I'm fucking stupid.
Welcome to Earth, Joe. Welcome to Earth. We're all fucking stupid. All right, let's continue. Here we go.
People are the reason I want to move to Ganymede.
The fuck. Anyways, here
Learn
we go.
some astronomy, Jordan. It's good for you.
One day I will. After I get over my beef with Carl Sagan.
What did Carl Sagan do to you?
Listen, we all love Muppets, okay? We love Kermit, we love Piggy. And he used them. He used them on his own program. I saw it. I saw it as a child. You're gonna pay one day, Carl Sagan. In the afterlife, I'll find you. Swear to God. All right, here we go.
Jordan, it sounds like you have a very serious problem with the Muppets and Carl Sagan.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Including ours, but the idea that this was a category that needed federal protection.
Jim Henson, hire
and
me.
People were born this way in the wrong body. That was a brand new idea, and I was there for that because I'm 56.
Wait, but correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't the Human Rights Campaign, isn't that a nonprofit organization? So isn't it funded by, or am I wrong about that?
I think it is a nonprofit, and what's interesting, and this is a whole...
People fundraise for the Human Rights Campaign. It's
Sure, but you're absolutely right. It is, like most lobbies in the United States, I would say all of them actually are not federally funded. They're nonprofits. And they're among the most powerful institutions. They may be the most powerful institutions in our country. Abroad, they're called NGOs, non-governmental organizations. But in the United States, they operate as what we call nonprofits under 501c3 tax law, and that means they pay no taxes. And so they become enormously rich. Now, if I were in charge, never going to be, unfortunately,
look at that
I would eliminate
outfit.
all tax exemption for everybody, for churches, the Human Rights Campaign. Everyone pays the same tax for all Americans. That would be my view. I think it's... No, but that's a sidebar.
You over there, the girl, whoever you are.
And I would encourage you to do this, to look into who funds that. And by the way, the Heritage Foundation on the right, and like all these nonprofits, it's not just the Human Rights Campaign.
I say leave.
People
Go
who
to the
fund
90s.
them
Leave the
are not
2006 shit alone. Go to the
the
90s.
least
Better.
powerful. They're not funded by some, you know, trans performer, you know, in the Castro district of San Francisco. They're funded by billionaires, all of them. BLM, the BLM riots were funded by Apple and Facebook. You know, all the biggest actors in corporate America fund these organizations, which have the effect
What funds what you're
of
doing
getting
right
people
now,
fired from
Tucker?
their jobs or
But also,
shamed into
Tucker, you
silence.
can make the argument that Elon Musk, he's one of the most powerful people in the world. He's a billionaire, billions and billions of dollars, and he put all his money into the Trump
Billions and
campaign.
millions.
Well, I wouldn't make that case. I would state it as fact. That's
Yeah,
true.
it's the facts.
Well, I know. I mean, what-
I know, you're saying that, listen. You're saying that
Multiply a
wokeism,
million by a billion,
and it's
you
the
get.
most powerful people suppressing the lesser powerful. There's cases
The less
where
powerful.
it's people that you typically agree with, where it's powerful people suppressing the lesser powerful.
That may be absolutely true.
The
I
less
like
powerful.
Elon. I'm not endorsing everything
gonna
he
break my
does.
brain.
So, but
And
that's
I-
you
and I-
endorsing a more powerful
Multiply a million by a
individual.
billion,
Why
you
are you
get
only
a
against
one
the more
followed
powerful
by
when it's supporting
15
things like human
zeros.
rights and BLM, but
Goo-
you're
Google?
for it when it's
Googleplex?
supporting
Nah,
Donald
dude.
Trump?
Nah, dude, that's
Well, I
one
don't know
followed
that
by
I am.
100
I mean,
zeros.
I think
I know, but I learned
we
that.
may have a failure
7
of,
years old and
as
never forgot
usual,
it for
of me
some
to
reason.
explain myself fully. So I think you're speaking about two
should've.
different categories. The first category was free speech and who's funding the efforts to suppress it. And I would say free speech benefits, by definition, the powerless. So, like, if you don't have a lot of money,
That is such a big
and
fucking
clearly,
number. If you tried to
you know,
count to
your
it,
vote
the sun
isn't going to
would
turn an
probably
election. What do you
go
have? You have your
supernova
conscience,
before
you have your
finished.
voice. So traditionally, and this is why it's enshrined in the Bill of Rights,
In fact, I think a lot of things at the intergalactic scale would happen before you finished.
That's a major pause, Joe. Major pause. But here we go.
have your conscience, you have your voice. So
I'm dead-ass grabbing
traditionally,
celery
this is why
and
it's
some
enshrined
dip.
in the Bill of Rights.
I'll be right back.
The freedom of
Dead-ass doing
speech
it.
is
I can't take it.
the weapon of the powerless. It's all they have is their voice. That's it. Okay? And their ability to assemble and petition and make noise and all that, right? This is what liberals used to say all the time, and I always agreed with them. And you will find in every society, at every time, the people who are against the exercise of free speech are the powerful. You find this in, you know, the potentates of the Middle East. Who's against free speech in Saudi? Well, the king, obviously. In every country, that's the case, and it's true in ours. So that's just a point I would make. And it's true for wokeism, which was a lot of things. It was identity politics. But really, what was the point of it? It was identifying this group. This group has no power, therefore you're not allowed to criticize them, say the richest people in America who really don't want to hear an analysis of their leadership. That's what it's actually about. So that's the first point. You're making a second point, which I'm not sure I disagree with, which is that
Was it, Jordan?
people who have...
If more people did a serious analysis of the leadership of the powerful in this country, I think we would probably have had an overthrow by now. Ugh.
Well,
Tucker, you make me so mad sometimes, almost inordinately so.
I mean, I'll be real with you. If somehow someone gathered a mass of people to overthrow the government or overthrow whatever, it's going to be a repeat of the same thing that they were complaining about in the first place. That's what would happen. It's a bad sequel, in my humble opinion, because no one's are people working on the things of like how do these problems come about? Nope. So thus they repeat it. While feeling special, right? Some names will win, will be the winners of history. Like, and that's the day that John Smith won the day and took over. You know, throw him a parade and whatever. But in reality, no actual changes. Nothing actual.
That's why self-criticism is so vital.
Oh. And once again, rearranging chairs on the Titanic. I mean, genius, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
and with that fucking Great Gatsby ass fucking ballroom Trump wants to build in the White House, this country's gonna look like the fucking Titanic too. So that metaphor has never been more appropriate.
yeah, but Problem is, we were already there, Joe. We were already there. What's the difference? What's the difference between 5 minutes before it hits the iceberg and 5 minutes after? To me, it's the same thing. Like, yo, we're about to hit an iceberg. Hey, guys, wake up. We're about to hit an iceberg. Then you hit the iceberg. And it's like, yo, guys, listen. We hit an iceberg. But don't panic. We need to work together to... And everyone's like, ah! Running around screaming and shit. Like, what's the difference, actually, between before or after the iceberg? I see the same thing. As far as, like, lessons to learn as a society to make things better or more efficient. We're nowhere near approaching that stuff. But either way, shall we continue? We shall. Here we go.
Billions of dollars have undue influence over our society.
Oh, does it?
Amen, sister, I would say.
I'm
I do
not
agree
really
with that.
Point though.
Not over me.
Like what I'm trying to say is that you're saying that wokeism is this more powerful, suppressing the less powerful. However, I see that more in our current administration. Donald Trump is incredibly rich. He had Elon Musk, who's incredibly rich. And you're supporting the First Amendment and freedom to assemble and freedom to petition. You're saying that's a good thing. That happened this weekend with the No Kings protest. And you're here, this very rich organization, you're here actively criticizing those who went to that protest.
I did? I actually
your
don't think
organization, not you specifically.
No,
I've been seeing
what I
so
said
many of
was-
these
I'm not
fuckers
saying
on
what
Fox
you
News
said,
saying
I'm
that those
saying
No
what the
Kings
previous
protests
speaker
are
said.
funded by
Okay,
George
well,
Previous media
Soros.
made fun of the people who
Okay,
defended the No Kings.
You know,
It could
I
be.
do think, and this
I swear to God, I have a
this is
sixth
news to
sense
liberals,
for
I
when
do
that
think
guy's
making
name is
fun of people is within
getting
bounds.
invoked.
I'm not saying it's
And
not.
I enjoy it. And
I hate
so,
it.
no, but I will take
The guy full of shit.
where you're going
He doesn't even need to
seriously.
fund them. He'll just get the credit
I can't.
for
No, I'm
funding
gonna
them.
interrupt you. No,
But
I'm
that's
kidding.
not-
Of
He
course
doesn't
you
have
can.
to
I'm
Okay.
totally
give the
kidding.
money anymore.
Thank you.
You want to know
What
how
I'm
many?
saying
You want to know how
is,
many
if you
people
support
came out for
that
those
First
protests,
Amendment-
Jordan?
A lot I saw, but I don't know.
By attendance volume, they might be the largest protest in U.S. history.
Oh, okay.
So
The
2,500
largest, lamest
Yes.
protest in American history. Got it.
Okay, what are they protesting?
Trump.
People cut them out. What's the message?
They don't have one, Jesse. That's the point.
It's like,
They
I don't know.
actually have
No
one.
Kings means.
It's called a bunch of lamos gathering together to do lame shit. All for the sake of the Democratic Party winning in the future. Shout to Kyle
Oh,
Kulinski,
for
by
the
the way.
Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
It's all for them, let's be honest. Wasn't like Code Pink like kicked out of certain venues? Aren't they the left? Aren't they anti-war? Like, you can't have that there, right? Instead, you have Mehdi Hassan giving giant speeches. That fucking dweeb. But hey, man, no kings, you know what I'm saying? We won. The world got better. Thank God for that. Anyway, let's continue. Here we go.
Right so much, and you support
It's like, I
the
hate to be the
idea
bearer
that
of
the
bad
lesser
news to the
powerful
No
shouldn't be
Kings
suppressed
people,
by the
but
more powerful. I would
the prospect of the United States having kings or an aristocracy is not new. In fact, it's always been there. It's always been that way.
I mean, if we're willing to address corruption in any form or fashion, no matter where it comes from, we're fucked. So thus, you know what? Kings, no kings, do whatever the fuck you want, people. Good luck to you, though. Let's hit play, though. Here we go.
think that you would be against the President of the United States going on his social media and posting AI videos of him dropping shit on the protesters as he's a more powerful.
Oh, did you see that video, Jordan?
So we may have
Yeah.
a definition of terms problem here. So you can
It's a,
say,
beautiful
I think it's
distraction. That probably
ugly
works.
that the President of the United States is
Yeah.
posting naughty videos on his X account or whatever. Okay, fine. What I'm defending is the sacred God-given right of every person to say what he believes. That's called free speech. That's what's enshrined in our First Amendment. If you can name
Unless they're
any
against the
example
Iraq
of the administration
War, right,
abridging
Tucker?
that, I will agree with you 100%. I believe in that
Or
independent
against
party.
extermination of
I'm not
Palestinians.
particularly partisan, actually.
That's
I kind of
anti-Semitic.
hate the Republican Party, just being honest. I'm not going to vote for the Democratic Party because I think they're evil. So it puts me in a tough spot. But I'm not partisan in the slightest. I never have been. So if you can name an
Yes,
example
you are.
of
Never have
anybody
been?
preventing or trying to prevent someone
so
else
full
from
of
saying what
shit.
he thinks is
That's
true,
a great
speaking his
statement.
conscience, I will agree with you.
Not partisan.
But I don't think that you've thought deeply enough about the difference between making fun of someone and preventing him from speaking. There's a meaningful
wasn't-
difference.
Did you say I don't agree with the conservative Republicans, but the Democrats are evil or something like that? And he's just also said I'm not partisan. Never been partisan.
Yeah. I'm not partisan. I know I was on Fox News for almost 20 years and consistently pushed for their politics, but I'm not partisan. Fuck off.
Hey man,
Fuck
I'll be
off
fair.
out of here.
I'll be fair. I don't know. I'll be fair here. Here we go. Continue.
Saying that was an example of presenting the.
No, you said that because Trump posted a naughty cartoon on Twitter, he's against the First Amendment. I'm like, no, it
He's
doesn't.
against the protests, which is an example of practicing the First Amendment.
No, you can certainly make fun of a protest without preventing the protest from
That's an
happening.
unacceptable way for the president to be acting, though, because he is the president of the United States. He can change people's course of action.
Okay, but can I wait? May I say one thing? Again, we're arguing past each other, and I hope I end with this, which is to say, you can make the case that he shouldn't have done that because it's unbecoming or whatever. Fair, fine, we can debate it. But I don't think that you're making the case he was abridging anyone's First Amendment. Criticizing, and this is part of the derangement of the left, that criticizing somebody is the same as committing violence against them or preventing them from speaking. That is not true. Trying to get someone fired from his job, I've been on the receiving end of that like about 100 times. Well, I guess I did get fired in the end. Sorry, I totally forgot. I would argue that's like kind of a meaningful attempt to stifle speech. But
All I have
just
to
see a
say
big
about
difference,
this
but if you
is
don't, I don't know how to do it.
charliesmurders.com. Look up the story of that website.
Okay. Tucker's point, I mean, isn't that being used against Thomas Massey and Rand Paul? Right? Then there's maybe there's a gray area here that's worth looking at. I'm like, well, he did do that, didn't he? Oh.
These points ring hollow when it comes from somebody like Tucker to me. It rings very hollow to me.
Yeah, I'm just eating celery, you know what I'm saying? Relaxing. Just dusting these I'm sorry, the girl is kind of a dummy. Tucker's a fucking dummy. I might as well eat celery while I fucking watch this. All right,
This is like comparing a 3-watt bulb to a wet match in a dark cave. And I'm sorry, but Tucker is the wet match in the dark cave.
They're both trash. Let's keep it moving. But hopefully she's a sweetheart. Tucker, who fucking knows?
Yeah.
But I hope this
I
girl's
feel like
a
I could
sweetheart.
talk to. Tucker, not so much.
This girl would get wrecked if she joined my Discord and argued politics. She'd get fucking wrecked. It is what it is. But everyone gets wrecked. That's the point. All right, here we go.
Preventing them from speaking, that is not true. Trying to get someone fired from his job, I've been on the receiving end of that like about 100 times. Well, I guess I did get fired in the end. Sorry, I totally forgot.
You're fired.
I would argue that's like kind of a meaningful attempt to stifle speech.
That was
I just
freaking
see a big
slogan.
difference, but if you don't, I don't know how to convince
there's
you.
other examples of him stifling free speech.
All right, I'm gonna.
This poor girl. Jesus Christ. If this poor girl knew about Thomas Massey and Rand Paul, she would shut the fucking crowd up and Tucker up. Hey man, trying to get someone fired? Well, didn't he do that with Rand Paul and Thomas Massey? What's the crowd going to do? Boo? And what's Tucker going to do? Other than say, yeah, you're right. Actually, that's a good point. Good point. He has to, right? But this poor girl
Firing
doesn't know
people
anything.
is Trump's brand before he became president. Literally.
I mean, for political reasons, though. That's what he means. Or, I guess both of them mean. All right. Kind of mediocre. Let's keep going.
I think your questions are in good faith. I think you're trying to understand what I'm saying. I'm definitely trying to understand what you're saying, but I'm going to ask to go to the next questioner just because we've gone back and forth quite a bit. Thank you.
Oh my God. All right. Hi, Tucker. This is kind of surreal because I remember watching you in 2004 on CNN.
What?
Fire with Paul Begala when John.
I never did that. That's AI, man. I never.
CNN. There was a lot of people don't
There's
know
Tucker's
you on
apology.
I never worked
For
at
the Iraq War.
CNN.
On Crossfire? Are you like just straight? Really? Are you denying that right now? For real?
Have you ever heard of AI, dude?
Oh
He's
my
joking.
God. Oh, he's doing it. That's pretty good.
I'm totally kidding.
See, I don't.
No, I did. I've done a lot of shameful things. I'm not going to
Look,
pretend.
I have one thing in common with you. I'm also long-winded and have a hard time
Like this?
wrapping up my thoughts. But I don't have your rhetorical.
Find a patient wife. That's my advice.
I don't have your rhetorical.
Is Tucker dipping? He's dipping. With like Zyn packs. He's popping nicotine in the middle of this. He's a true country boy now. From the mean streets of D.C. to log
what is he
cabin in
doing?
the woods. He's packing Zyns, which is like nicotine packs. Like, you know, like or nicotine pouches, my bad.
Is it for chewing?
Like,
Or-
I do real tobacco. This guy
Yeah.
is using the nicotine pouches that are supposed to, like,
Mm.
he's like getting like a rush of nicotine.
Okay.
I see a decent amount of gamers do those, actually. Funny enough.
No, I've never seen this.
But I saw him, like, grab something out of his mouth, pause. I thought it was, like, gum or something. And no, he's actually packing lips, bro. Pause. In the middle of the shit.
It's like he's smoking a cigarette, but just
It's
different.
It's the vaping version. Sorry, it's equal to vaping for smokers, but it's for like dipping, like tobacco, like smokeless tobacco. Like, this is equal to a vape, I would think. But here we go.
Skills, you'll definitely.
And you don't have to spit it out, I believe, right? You could just. I don't know. I think I've done them once. I was like, trash. All right, here we go.
Throw a lot of shit my way that I won't be able to counter. But I wonder, like, for you, like, being at CNN, being at Fox, and like you say, you're all against disinformation, but
He
you
is
were
fucking
up there with Sean Hannity.
Forgive me. I'm going to say pause for this. Sorry. But he's sucking the life out of that Zen back right there. He's rearing back, bro. Pause. I'm sorry. Maybe it's gum. I could be wrong, but he's not moving like it's gum. He's looking like he's like packing the fucking side of his mouth.
I think it's probably like a hard candy or something.
Nah. I think it's a Zen pack, bro. I think it is.
No, I mean whatever he's getting the nicotine from it. I think it's like a hard candy. You just gotta let that shit dissolve.
No. It's a fucking. I think it's a fucking like pouch. I think it's like a pouch because he took it like right. He took it out of his mouth first, right, and then he's putting a new one in, which means he's like, that's the same as like chain smoking, essentially. So he's added to. That's hilarious. Hey, listen, I ain't hating, bro. I ain't hating. Just do the real thing, Tucker. And spit on stage in front of everyone. Do it. I would. All right, here we go.
For you, like, being at CNN,
look at him drain the life of the pouch.
Fox, and like you say,
Look at him.
You're all against
He's draining the life out of
but you were, up there with Sean Hannity, just repeating talking points, on Fox News that Rupert Murdoch and Roger Ailes were just telling you to say. That got the Tea Party started. You can't tell me that you weren't conscious that you were spreading disinformation. In 2020,
Wait, hold on. You've already.
I had an example.
No. I'm gonna need. First of all, I never got talking points from Ailes or
Okay. Well, I'm
from
sure they
Rupert.
didn't directly give them to you, obviously.
Well, I worked there for 15 years, so if you're interested in like what it was like, I'm happy to tell you as honestly as I can.
Well, it's just.
But let me just ask what disinformation means.
I think disinformation can come across in a lot of.
No, but what is it? What is it?
It is purposefully trying to mislead people.
So it's lying.
It can be, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's an example.
Let's just call it lying.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be lying just, oh, that's a lie.
Okay, so we just cut 3 syllables off the word. That's a win.
Okay.
That's a Doge move. We went from disinformation to lying.
All right.
Yeah.
So?
Wow, he's so smart.
So, like, do you not feel
So
like
smart,
you've been
Dr.
part
Scott.
of contributing to the rise of essentially just people gaslighting each other and just, like, what are your
What's
own
gaslighting?
personal- what are your
I'm just a
personal
common man.
convictions?
Just
Like, do you
What's
sometimes forget
gaslighting?
what you actually
Wrong?
believe versus, like, what you thought? You know,
How old are you, son?
too old. I'm old. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I remember.
How old are
I've
you
seen
now?
you for a lot. Like the text.
Yeah, I was
that
about
came
to
out.
say.
Like when you texted.
Okay,
like,
well,
I
let me-
can't wait for Trump to. I hate him with passion. Like with a passion. Like you had those came out in court, and that's what you thought. But at the same time, you were actively supporting Trump and the whole 2020 election situation. So that's disinformation right there.
Okay, so you're giving me a lecture about what I think.
I'm.
And I do think,
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I promised in the spirit of Charlie, I would not use profanity from the stage.
It's okay. I'm French. You can shit on me all you want, dude.
It's called merde, son. Okay, I would, rather than tell me what I think or what my experience was, I think it's, and I've done that to a lot of people. I've told people what they think. So I've committed that sin. So I'm familiar with it. I'm not judging you, but I'm just giving you advice. It's more evocative, it's more productive to ask what people think.
That's what I'm trying to.
And so you're saying you participated, I think you're saying, in a lot of things that were false and bad for the country. And what do you really think?
Yeah.
So I would answer your
thought process.
I would answer your second question first. I really try to be as transparent as I possibly can. I think you just scoffed in the microphone.
I mean, there was text that came out in court finally.
Would you like to know what that was? Because I'll tell you.
I'm sure everyone would love to know. Yeah, when the
I
Dominion
just
lawsuit.
Oh, you're one of the most annoying people I've ever dealt with. This is why I don't come to college. But hold on. I'm gonna no. Hold on. I'm gonna apologize. I just want to apologize.
Put another
for saying
zinni in.
that. Okay, so
That's such an honor.
yeah, I know.
Get another zinni.
My views are like on the internet, and I don't
should
work
take some
for anybody
Xanax.
but me. I'm in business with my college roommate. I have no incentive to ever lie at all, and I
Wolverine.
not to. I supported the Iraq War pretty vehemently. I supported the nomination of a Supreme Court Justice, Amy Coney Barrett. That was like a huge mistake. Sorry. I think not what I thought she was. I support John Roberts. I support, what's the list of dumb things I've supported in my life is very long. I think I've learned something from those mistakes. I'm happy to admit how dumb they were. I've spent the last 22 years trying to atone for my support for the Iraq War.
I appreciate that.
Do better.
Hold on, I'm not, okay, now you're annoying me again.
Oh my God.
Not here for your affirmation. So I would say as to the text specifically, you want to actually know? I mean, are you even willing to hear it? I'll tell you exactly what that was. Those were between me and a producer of mine who I really love, who I still am close to. And that was about, it was in January after the election. And Trump was saying, they stole it from me. And I called the White House and I said, I'm totally willing to believe that. I mean, Zuckerberg puts, $400 million into the mechanics of elections. I don't think he's doing that because he believes in good government. Like, what is this? It's clearly there's theft. And I say to the White House, someone specifically at the White House, give me examples. And he says, I have got a great example for you. I've got 7 or 8 dead people who voted. And the beauty of that claim was it's provable because they're death certificates. And we've got the death certificates and we've got the obits and they voted and they're on the voter rolls. We know they voted.
God, I love this.
I mean, talk about slam dunk. I'm not repeating anything I can't prove. I don't trust any campaign, period. I never have on either side. I just don't trust campaign consultants. They're disgusting. I still think that. But this seemed like a verifiable hit. So I go out there and I say, there's a lot of talk, and you can pull up the tape. There's a lot of talk about, election theft. We're working on it. And I'm working in Fox News, so there's like a lot of, let's find out what happened. But we know that 7 or 10 dead people voted, and here are their names. Miss Wanda Johnson of Sioux City, Iowa, and, Jack Klein of Corpus Christi, Texas, and I would go through the whole name, and we'll put the obits up. Well, within 25 minutes, a couple of the dead people call CNN.
I would love for
say,
Tucker
we're not
to get
dead.
cornered by Greg Palast.
And CNN runs this whole thing exposing that I have just made this colossal error on the air. There's nothing I hate more than being wrong and humiliated like that, because I have a staff. We should get this right. And I didn't get it right because it's so easy to check whether or not someone has died that I didn't check. And I was enraged. And I was just enraged by the whole thing. And my position was,
he said that Trump called
you're
him.
going to claim it was stolen, prove it to me.
And he gave him proof. And then
I'm not taking anybody's word for anything.
How come
But
you weren't
he
saying
took
these
Trump's
things
word, right?
during,
And that's what
Fox News?
fucked him
The
up.
next day.
And I'm not here to just try
That's
to argue
funny.
with you. I really do think this country is going through some deeply troubling times.
Wait, what do you mean argue with me? You just said, wait, stop. You just
Hey,
wait, stop. No, wait,
Of course
no,
not.
wait, hold on.
No,
You said, why didn't you say these things? And I said, I did the next day on the air live on Fox News. And you're like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. No,
but you didn't though.
Check the tape, dude.
Emphasis of your show. The emphasis.
What are you talking about? I went immediately on the.
Cop-out. Okay, fine.
What do you mean it's a cop-out? I was completely wrong. I blamed the Trump campaign for being wrong, when it was partly my fault for taking their word for it, which I shouldn't have done. And the guy who gave me that information, I just ran into. I'm still mad at him. He's still around.
It's just so you don't take any ownership for devices.
What do you mean any ownership?
You had the #1 rated show in America.
What specifically are you talking about?
You had the #1 rated cable.
I'm aware of that. I hosted it.
Yeah, I know. So you had. I know.
Okay, is anyone else getting the vibe of you're purposely being distracting and not answering? You can make this a lot cleaner if you want to, Tucker. But it comes off as obviously the kid wants to own you on camera, right? That's what this person's looking for. Got it. But what are you doing,
Point
Tucker?
of this gathering to begin with.
Well, it's just what is Tucker doing with all that? I don't understand. He's scrambling quite a bit.
You missed it. He was talking about voter fraud.
Okay.
And I'll say it again because you weren't here for it, but I would love for Greg Palast to corner Tucker and leave him no opportunity to leave the room until he can answer the question about potential fraud on an industrial scale surrounding the 2024 election.
Tucker has his own, or sorry, Greg Palast has his own mixtape that could be played probably. Now, I know him from back in the day of working on gerrymandering and voting fraud, and all this bullshit, right?
I'm sure he does, but from what I've been able to put together, the case he's made that there was widespread voter suppression in 2024, as far as I can tell, it's pretty rock solid.
Okay.
I'm not going to say ironclad just yet, but it's a very strong case.
I understand, but how does that affect Tucker? My problem with Tucker is something he can move with whatever political ideas are out there. He's moved with Medicare for all. The guy, he can move around with those things hopefully because it's genuine, but either way, it's he's not held to those standards. I want to know personally, hey man, you full of shit. And on those things like that, he's not going to come off as full of shit. He's just going to go with, oh shit, there was cheating? Oh shit. Let me do a report on it. You want to come on my show? Let's talk about it. This is not. It sounds like Joe. No offense, but it sounds like you're still in the left versus right thing when these guys might not be playing that game. That makes sense? Or no?
I think I follow you.
Where oh my god, Tucker's gonna be oh my god, it's Greg Palast, run! I don't think so. I think he'll agree with plenty of what Greg Palast would say about elections and all that shit. But, I think there'd be a different approach to find out if Tucker's full of shit or not. And that's not one of them, in my humble opinion.
Well, the reason I bring Greg Palast up is because in 2020, I remember this shit very clearly because it was fucking nonstop until Fox News got hit with that, like, what was it, almost $800 million judgment put against them. Tucker was one of the people peddling the big lie. He was defending Trump's refusal to leave the fucking White House.
Well,
until he couldn't anymore.
Okay, but
and one of the things that came out during that lawsuit were a bunch of text messages that display Tucker's real feelings in private. He said that he hated talking about Donald Trump and that he thinks that Donald Trump is a fucking idiot. That he couldn't wait for the day that nobody has to deal with him anymore.
Yeah, and that's where he's at now. It worked out for him. It's like, seriously, it worked out for him. I'd be like, hey, what I would actually ask Tucker is, like, instead of like trying to like you're playing with, how do I explain this? This guy's playing Madden 97 on fucking Sega. And if your response is to go play Madden next to him, like, hey, give me a controller, let me beat your ass in Madden 97. Instead of like, here's a real football, let's play like real football. Let's do that shit. If you can't go there, like, that's how things get you have to be able to go there. Let's play some real fucking football. And let's find out. And it's like, yo, Tucker, here's all these crimes of this person. How come you don't talk about those? Are you going to do it now? You're going to wait till later. Hey, whether he's going to leave office or not, Tucker. Is this guy full of shit, though? Can you say that on Fox? Are you allowed to? Oh, you can't? What's your fucking point, then? Step aside, my man. Retire. Like, it'd be crazy to have like he needs like a stepping ladder from Fox News to get to here. And it's like, what gave you that? Like, what makes you worthy of this? All the human beings on planet Earth. Why the fuck should we like be so hardcore listening in on, or why should we want Tucker Carlson to be the guy that's in this position right now? Nothing says that. To me, at least. That's where I'm like, yo, let's play some real fucking football. Of an outdated, old-ass fucking game. Whatever. Here we go. Let's keep playing. That's where I'm at. It is what it is. I understand on the surface stuff, like, oh, Tucker spilled ketchup on his fucking suit. I get that. But like, yo, what's the point? Like, where is he at? What's he actually doing? And why is there a point to, like, call him out? It can't be team playing because that will fuck you over. Because your own team doesn't even fucking care for you. Let's be honest. So it can't be for the sake of Democrats, or the sake of Israel, or the sake of whatever the fuck, as your reason to go after Tucker Carlson. It has to be like, what about him is fucked up or wrong, in your opinion, or what you're seeing, what you're perceiving. We never get there, do we? Instead, we sit down next to Tucker and play Sega. Here we go. Keep playing.
So
I fucking hate politics, dude. I fucking hate it.
So the amount of influence that you carried.
So you don't agree? Look, you don't agree with my views.
No, that's not what I'm getting at. Tucker,
okay, so you're saying my views are insincere?
No, we disagree.
I ruined my Zen pack,
yes,
bro. Damn it.
truly doubt your sincerity, and I think at
well,
this
then
point
that's
in your career,
then that's your problem.
I'm trying to understand it because it makes no sense. Like, you're worth $50 million.
I'm not worth $50 million.
30 to 50.
Get off the fucking internet, son. Don't stop believing that stuff.
It's like wrestling, bro. He said a curse word.
Go back to cable news.
Sorry.
Do you hear that?
No,
Tucker
but
said
I'm just
swear
look,
word.
Okay, you're too annoying. You're too
Now we
annoying.
cheer.
So I like the last chick who like disagreed with me, and then we could have like a normal conversation.
All right.
But you're like telling
Jesus
me you're worth
fucking
$50 million.
Christ.
What? Stop.
Okay, you got real defensive there. I just threw out a number that's like a lot of money. Jesus Christ, calm down.
Don't use that phrase.
You're worth.
We're done.
Look.
Just stop.
Oh, the double standard is real.
Jesus
God
say that.
fucking
Leave.
damn
Christ,
it.
Tucker. Jesus fucking Christ, Tucker. Relax, man.
Tucker, what's your goddamn problem, Tucker?
Yo, Jesus, write that down. Yeah, anyone can say your name. It's just a fucking name, right? It's not a big deal. I know, right? Write it down though. Let Tucker know later on when he needs to know about it. All right, let's continue.
Yeah,
There we
don't let that shit go unaddressed, Jesus.
go. There we go.
Hi, we had a question.
Fuck the Clippers.
I'm sorry, I'm such a jerk. I promise I'm going to try not to do that again.
Okay.
He's gonna do it again.
We wanted to ask that for a
If he doesn't get
platform
stuck
that
in a bottle of
advocates for
Zinfandel.
limited government and personal freedoms, how do you justify the imposition of Christian values and beliefs onto a secular nation that was founded on the separation of church and state?
Well, I guess I don't see
Thank
a
God
lot of
this
imposition
girl brought
of
the
Christian
pressing
values.
issues.
I wish we had a lot more. The country was founded on Christian values.
You wish that we had laws?
I'm sorry?
You wish that our country had laws based on Christianity that would...
All of our laws are based on Christianity. All of them.
And do you think that's a good thing?
Well, it's the essential thing. It's why we're...
Yeah, Jesus, write that down too. All our laws are based on Christianity. Write that down for me. Thanks, bud. Thanks, bud. All right, let's get back to it. Here we go. Write that
And do you
one.
think that's a good thing?
What was in that letter
Well,
Thomas
it's the
Jefferson
essential
wrote to
thing.
those
It's why we're
fucking
America. All of our laws are
Baptists
based
in
on
Maryland?
Christianity. Not sectarian Christianity, not
He said,
Protestant
"Damn it,
Christianity,
the slaves are
Catholic
mine.
Christianity.
I'm not giving them up either."
Country with...
It's not.
Also,
it's not
yes.
actually a secular country.
My slave is hot as
Have you
shit.
looked at
I ain't
the dollar
giving her
bill?
up for nothing.
No,
Nothing, you
it's
hear
not
me?
a secular country. Our founding documents have God all over them. In fact, that's the point of our founding documents. I don't know if you've read them. You should.
Do you not
The
believe
bill-
in
wait,
the
no, no, hold
separation
on.
of church and state?
Once again, and this is why I do
First
worry
Amendment.
about college, because the thought process does seem less rigorous than it ought to be. I'm not arguing against separation of church and
That
state.
makes no sense.
It seems like you are. It
I'm-
seems
I'm-
like you
I'm-
want Christian laws on a Christian...
All of our laws are Christian laws. All of them.
I might skip
All
this
of
one.
them.
It's kind of
There's
lame.
not one law in this country.
Do I skip this one? It's kind of lame.
Tucker, yeah, this is
They're both kind of like lame ideas. Like, hey man, aren't we blowing up boats in the middle of the fucking ocean? Aren't we doing that right now? So Tucker, what's your
Yeah.
thoughts on that? I'm against it. How much are you against it? How much? As in, like, will you put your hands up to the fucking cross and say, "I'm so much against this. I will fight against it." Straight up. Not physical, violent fighting, but like with my platform, with my voice, I will tell it like this is absolute bullshit. And whoever conducts
Jordan,
shit like this, go fuck yourself. Will you do that, Tucker? Will ya?
Jordan, did you hear that sound? The
I
sound of
did.
Tucker's answer.
It's Allie's cousins.
the Secretary of War posted
It's Allie's cousins.
just a few minutes before this video started.
It's a
He
joke,
posted
folks.
a video blowing up some boats, killing some people.
Oh yeah, they keep promoting it. I think they're up to 30 people now, right? I think.
I don't know how many people, but like this is like common thing now to just show some video and then like the people are dead.
Damn,
Their government.
that sounds like open and shut case corruption to me, doesn't it? But for some reason,
say
that's never the
murder to me.
topic. Open and shut corruption is somehow not the main topic. Like, hey, we got him right here. He's caught. They're caught right here. They're all caught right here.
These are laws
Never
by God.
addressed. Never addressed.
To murder them.
But instead, we're asking questions about something that might happen, or may happen, or what's Tucker's opinion on it. And it's like, yo, here's open and shut corruption. Make Tucker account for it. If he dents, squiggles, slithers, even a fucking inch, it's like, we got you now. Here's your IQ test, Tucker Carlson. Here's an IQ test for you. Answer for it. If you start dancing around, I'll be aware then. This guy's a little fucking dancing full of shit motherfucker. He's either lying to himself or to others. Well, that's probably both at that point. But instead, we're not thinking that way. We're asking, how tall is the grass? We're asking, JFK gets shot. We're asking, how tall was the grass on the grassy knoll? How tall was the grass? You had that in fucking inches for Americans? Pause. Those are the questions we're asking. It's like, yo, there's more blatant things that, like, if the point is to whatever. Maybe she's her and her friend, or maybe they're both like babies politically, right? And they only know like certain questions like this. Like, wait a minute, you have to have separation between church and state. You have to. Meanwhile, in a healthy world, like, you don't fucking, like, don't need to even address that. What are we talking about? What are we doing, guys? They're blowing up people in the middle of the ocean. Whatever. Okay. Whatever. Let's keep playing. Here we go.
In our criminal code that's not based on a Christian understanding of justice. Let me explain
It's a
what that
marathon,
is.
but
and
I'm with
I think
it.
you'll be glad that you live in a country based on the
I hate
Christian
my
precept of
salary.
justice. And here's the difference between East and West.
I have my
Christian
fake
and
sin
non-Christian.
packs. I'm ready to go.
Christianity is the only religion that believes that each individual will be judged alone by God. We do not do in Christianity or in the United States, which is based on the Christian understanding of justice, group punishment. Period. You can't punish someone's children for the sins of his parents. We don't punish entire populations. We don't kill civilians because we have a Christian understanding of what justice is. We do not do group punishment.
Okay. Once again, you have laws on the books, but then you have people behaving in the world. You have a cop that swears an oath to not kick the shit out of anyone for no fucking reason, but they do it anyways. Right? These are phantasmagoria. It's fucking imagination, make-believe shit versus like actual reality.
We have a word for people who do collective punishment just because, or just randomly decide to beat the shit out of somebody. We got a name for that phenomenon. It's called sadism.
Well, once again, the sins of a father of a nation named Nicolas Maduro, and now we blow up random boats in the middle of the fucking ocean. That might not be Venezuelan. Well, some of them are, for sure. But is it connected to the fucking government? There you go, collective punishment. Also, we do that. Fuck the laws. The sins of a father does not mean you judge the son. Guess what? People do that anyways. I don't care what the fucking words in some book says. We do it anyways. You don't think like Diddy's kids are getting shit for all this stuff that's happening with Diddy? Of course they are.
Well, they're never gonna fucking hear the end of that. Ever.
Yeah, there's no jail cell fucking closing on them yet. But guess what? In a way, they're ostracized from society. Their names alone carry something negative with it. We don't do that. Yeah, we fucking do. The book says not to do that, but we do it anyways. Fucking dummies. Fuck. Hey, if someone, says fuck your mother to a cop, they can't do anything to you. They have to, like, hold their posture and stay away from you. But in reality, that guy might pull out a club and beat the shit out of you for that. Because that's life. Not words written in some fucking book. Are we stupid? I guess so. Let's continue, I guess, but I might skip this one. Here we go. And once again, I'm not trying to be an asshole to the two kids up there, right? They look like sweethearts, Sweetheart leftist Antifa members. Trans activist leftist community. All right, here we go.
Every other country on
trolling,
Earth outside
folks.
of
Relax.
Western Europe and the Anglosphere does. You are all through Asia, all through the Middle East. In Russia, traditionally, if the parent does something wrong, the entire family is punished. But not in the United States. Period. Why? Because Christianity, only Christianity, doesn't believe that. It doesn't believe in blood guilt. And I don't know any other religion that rejects blood guilt with the vehemence that Christianity does. So yes, our laws are based on Christianity. You don't have to believe in Jesus to live here. I don't think you should have to believe in Jesus to live here. If that's what you're worried about, I don't think that. I would never advocate for that. But the Christian understanding of what justice is the thing that makes America a country worth living in. Get rid of that, and it's a hellscape. It's Rwanda. It's the Middle East. It's Asia. You don't want that.
It's Waco. It's It's Ruby Ridge. It's like it's WTO protests. Like
if it's not Christian,
Occupy. Like, come on, son. Come on, bro. Don't treat me like I'm stupid, bro. I get what he means by the laws in the books. I understand that. But as far as people behaving in the world, it's just nowhere near reality. It's nowhere fucking near it. Not even fucking close to that as far as the behaviors surrounding these things. Yo, can Tal Robinson's parents show their fucking faces in public anymore? Can they? How about moms or dads of school shooters? Well, let's be honest. Moms or dads of mass school shooter motherfuckers, right? Can they show their fucking faces in public the way they used to? They're more likely to leave, move states, change names around, whatever. To hope no one recognizes them. Now, they're not literally in jail, but they're kind of in jail. In a way, they're kind of in jail. They're kind of outside of regular society now. Once again, words on the books, sure. I maybe get what Tucker's saying, but like, does anyone actually, even on the law side, do people actually follow those things? Fuck no. So either he has a problem with the words in the books, or he should have a problem with people that call themselves Christians in the first place. One or the other. The shoe has to drop there. In my humble opinion. All right. Let's continue. More bullshit. By the way, Tucker can just yell, "I love God!" and the crowd will cheer. So it means the cheering means nothing. Sorry, Kay, to say. As a wrestling fan, I'm sorry. They will cheer for nothing. Acorns for squirrels. Congratulations. All right, here we go.
What able at the beast?
Oh my God. Either way, let's continue. Here we go.
Say that you believe in the separation of church and state if you're advocating for a people that is not homogeneously Christian to be following Christian laws.
You saying you're doing it?
I guess what
regardless.
I said was our understanding of justice, which is reflected and I hope remains reflected in our legal code, simply because they're in the way, period. And if you can kill children who are in the way, you can kill the elderly who are in the way, and in the end, they'll be killing us who are in the way. You can't do that.
It's like Venezuela, yeah. You can't just blow people up in the middle of the ocean. I understand. I agree, Tucker.
How are we doing, Tucker?
Sorry, I promised myself I would be more like Charlie Kirk today.
All right.
I've failed.
All right, my name is Mitchell. I'm a poli-sci student here right at IU. I'll give you a softball. I know these have been a little loaded.
Be like Charlie Kirk.
I don't care. You're like you yelled at that poor kid. Sorry.
Not something I would suggest.
French kid, wherever you are.
Yeah, but like, what does he
no
mean by
secret
that?
that?
It means
what's that?
Like he's substituting like, okay, being like, aiming to be more like Jesus, which
he's not. Just be honest, he's not.
Yeah.
Only in.
I mean, what
comparison.
he's doing, and what he's implying is that, and he's substituting Charlie Kirk, for that.
Yeah. There is a Great Wall of China with armed sentries posted at every 10 meters between Charlie Kirk and Jesus.
Oh, they're best buds now. They're like the same thing. Lately.
All right, Charlie's getting his lesson. And it's not going to be nice. But it'll be healthy. It's needed.
It's not pretty, but it's got to be done.
And not fun. Then once you're done with that, you get the fun. After you're done with that, you have some fun after that.
We all have to make sacrifices, don't we?
No sacrifices needed, bro. You just get you. My son, Charlie. Here's you. No! It's a fucking horror film. Run!
Except you can't.
You don't want to at the end of the day. Why would you want to run from yourself? It's boring. Anyways, let's continue with the next question from, I'm going to call him Mop Top. Here we go. Pause.
I don't care. I don't care. You're like, you yelled at that poor kid. Sorry.
So
French kid, wherever you are.
Tucker's Canadian. There it is.
it's no secret
He's
that
sorry.
today Donald Trump is facing approval
You're gonna be
ratings
sorry when I
that
put you in
are
the
at a
hospital for
record
free,
low.
eh?
And I'm curious on your thoughts on how the Republican
He
Party
got a pistol or something? Why is he grabbing his
is
belt
going
like that?
to grow after
He's got the
Donald
gap.
Trump.
I mean, it's a great question. I don't, of course, I don't know the answer. it's the real answer. But I think that a party that sticks to, I mean, look, the whole appeal of Trump was that he was he was totally against the Republican Party as constituted, which was like disgusting and corrupt and existing only for its own benefit and not actually serving its voters, lying to its voters, particularly its pro-life voters. I'm one of them, so I notice this. No, we're going to end abortion. No, you're not. You're for abortion. Like, they're liars. And Trump knew that. And they're running around telling us that the war on terror was a good thing. How was it a good thing exactly? We got TSA? Like, shut up. And Trump shows up in 2016 and just calls BS on the whole party. He ran against the Republican Party. And that was really popular. And he got, especially the second time, and he got all kinds of people who would never vote for a Republican voted for Trump. I mean, it's in the numbers.
He's the third time.
And so my view has been that part of it is Trump's amazing personality, magnetic personality, hilariousness, wildness, ability to draw attention. That's part of it. But part of it was the ideas, the 5 pillars of MAGA that I said, which are like broadly popular. You're not going to find many people who are like, no, we should have open borders, or no, like, let's outsource all of our jobs to Bangladesh, or you know what I mean? Like, most people think that's normal, those ideas. So, if the party runs on those, I think it can be a dominant party. But the party doesn't want to. They hate those ideas.
I would say if I were to be a single issue voter on anything, it would currently be the Epstein files and everything that's going on. I'm curious.
I get it, dude.
As
new lip.
Other guy in the glasses was talking previously about your comments about Trump.
New
I'm
lip
just
for,
curious, like, how do you
He's chain smoking.
Trump gathering this huge
It looks like gum, though. Don't worry about it.
And moving forward when he has these huge allegations against him, where in many people's eyes they believe it to be true.
I don't know. I look at it a little differently. I'm very upset about it, so I think I agree with you there. I've never thought it was really about Trump. I don't know that anyone's put forth credible allegations about his personal behavior. Maybe I missed it, but Ghislaine Mack, whatever. We can get into I mean, I know actually a lot about the case. What I'm really bothered by is I think it's both inherently important. I think there were a lot of people involved in this
but I'm getting
whose
fucking
names
tired
who have
here.
a great deal of power in America.
Oh, do your thing, man. I'm a zombie. Don't worry about it. Do your thing.
Have a good night, Orson.
You call him Joseph from now on, okay? His proper English name. Do it. Say it, Kate.
I didn't know that was his real name. I thought he was Orson.
Say his proper English name, Kate. Say good night, Joseph.
Joseph.
Nobody names their kids
Joseph.
Orson anymore, dude. What the fuck?
I didn't know your real name, right?
But do you know
You
their
can't blame me
name?
for that.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing, Jesse. He's like, who the fuck? Orson Welles. Good night, Orson Welles. Like, yeah.
But yes, I'm also Orson Welles. All right, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
All right, dude. Peace out. It's just God. You and Josh, your generation, just so disappointing. Who is Orson Welles? Dare you? Like, what if I said, "Who's Paul McCartney"? What would you say, Kate? Oh my God, he doesn't know who that is. Oh, fuck.
He's singer. I already know him.
Okay.
He's singer. Yeah,
For who?
I've heard his song with Michael Jackson.
No, who's he singing? Like, who is it? What's his band name?
I can't remember the band name. I haven't really focused that much with him before, so yeah.
Oh God. The most famous band from your country ever. Like, ever. It's not even close. They're there you go. There you go. Fuck my life. You know Paul McCartney and the fucking Beatles. Christ's sakes, K2C. I'm trying my best here. How do I not ban you for that? Yes, I'm recording. How do I not ban you for this, K2C? How do I not ban you? He spends more time bragging about some steroided dweeb from Canada named Brock Lesnar. He knows that motherfucker more than he knows about his meat blend of seasoning. He knows more about that than he does the Beatles. I'm wrecked. I am wrecked.
Baby back meat blend sauce.
All you need is Brock. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Here we go.
I'm really bothered by is I think it's both inherently important. I think there were a lot of people involved in this whose names you know, who have a great deal of power in American society and internationally, including
I'm sorry to pause again, but why did Tucker spend time to dismiss the idea of Trump being involved in anything? If he's not a part of the actual Epstein files, he's a part of covering it up, I would say, personally. So thus, what difference does that make?
Well, Tucker's a part of covering up the cover up.
Well, I don't hear enough about how bad, like, either from the questioners or Tucker himself, I don't hear enough about how actually bad Trump has been for their causes as a president. Instead, I hear him blaming, like, pushing the blame to other people. And it's like,
well, he's talking about his 5 pillars.
Okay.
He talked about Trump for a while.
Oh, okay. Got it. All right. Here we go. Maybe I missed it. There we go.
What I'm really bothered by is I think it's both inherently important. I think there were a lot of people involved in this whose names you know, who have a great deal of power in American society and internationally, including a former prime minister of another country who's been accused of rape, credibly. Bill Gates.
Ehud
There's a lot
Barak,
of people, right?
Bill Gates.
And
Trump had a dinner
I think
with
it's fair to know what your leaders are doing. Like, and I don't think there should be. I hate cover-ups. I think, as I noted before, the deep state is 100% real. The Epstein story intersects with that in really profound ways. And if you don't tell the truth about it, most people, probably you, reach the conclusion like the system is so rigged, no one will ever tell me the truth about anything. That's how I personally feel about it.
Do you believe that the Epstein files will ever get released in entirety?
I don't want to be boring about this, but I did a long, like 3-hour show on this last month.
Whoa, 3 hours? Okay.
I mean, I think it's all true, what I said and what my guest said, but I don't think there are, strictly speaking, Epstein files because, this is real, and I don't want to be boring, but the search, the written in Palm Beach County in 2005, 6, 20 years ago, basically was written to protect Epstein. And so it was like, you can search his house, but only the third drawer from the left in his dresser, but don't look at any other drawers. So actually, the government gathered a shockingly small amount of evidence in the original case, which is insane.
Oh, the guy that Trump
I want to know that. I want to know how justice was
appointed. Okay.
Who, Lutnick? Or do you mean
Acosta?
Acosta? Okay. Yeah, and then when he got a follow-up interview, he said nothing in there as well. Got it. Brilliant. Genius.
The way you're describing it, you would think it's like, oh, well, way back then they had, locked this down, so there's nothing to see. But like, it's the same people. It's not like separated from now. It's like Trump brings them into even higher office in the government.
Well,
promoted him.
It would probably look a lot like the JFK stuff, where it's you could see the CIA working hard to make sure they don't look bad, but they end up looking bad. I think the same thing applies to the Epstein files, where it's like, I don't want me or my friends looking bad. It could take down industries.
He's saying bad things, but he's not. He's making it sound separate from the current things, right? Like
exactly. Exactly. It's like, hey, why not open a new investigation? Is he going to do that? No. But why not? Because he's full of shit. Thanks, Tucker. Thank you for clearing up. Thank you for freedom fighting, Tucker. There we go.
Gathered a shockingly small amount of evidence in the original case, which is insane to me. So how did that happen? Like, I want to know that. I want to know how justice was perverted consistently along the line, okay, A. B, I want to know who murdered him in federal lockup in Manhattan. He was murdered. He did not kill himself. And I'm not guessing. I'm not, like, playing the meme game like Epstein didn't kill himself. Epstein actually didn't kill himself. He was murdered. But think about that for a second. Who could get into the most secure part of the federal detention center in downtown Manhattan? Who could do that? And the former Attorney General of the United States, Bill Barr, covered up his murder. And we know that for a fact because he said in his memoir, and at the time, his first instruction to his staff at DOJ when Epstein was found dead in his cell.
I like freedom.
We can't let anyone think this was a murder. Well, you haven't even done the investigation yet. So rule one in law enforcement is, and in journalism, by the way, we don't draw conclusions before the evidence arrives because we could be wrong. Also science, like any honest undertaking requires you to find out what happened before you make a judgment about it. And
kind of like Venezuelan boats. Or sorry, boats that are allegedly Venezuelan narco-terrorists. And also with Bill Barr, Trump was the guy that appointed that guy too. So when you blame Pam Bondi or Bill Barr or Kash Patel or Christopher Wray, whoever you want to blame, Comey's daughter, the orange penguin fuckface is overseeing all of it. And for some reason, Tucker just did not want to say that out loud or something like that. Like, what's going on here? I guess he can't say it.
He made it sound like it was the last administration. Like his words.
Yeah.
When he mentioned Bill Barr, it sounded like, well, that's so confusing.
Yeah,
I
mean,
that's not by mistake.
Listen, I understand Tucker fans that, like, look, Tucker's saying things about Israel now. See? He changed. I understand. But you're telling me if you had his seat and his leverage as far as popular appeal and all that stuff, are you telling me this is like, you don't have anything else to add to all this stuff that could actually be pertinent? Come on. Is he actually, quote unquote, fighting the system? Doubtful. And this is not off the backs of just this video, by the way. We were watching a couple other videos with Tucker Carlson. I was like, yo, what the fuck is he guy saying? I wish I could like pull up the exact quotes of things mentally. But he was saying some very weird, I guess at best, partisan statements that seems like he's like pushing people towards the same old left-right paradigm. But except now the right can criticize Israel. That's the only perk you fucking get, actually. And you know what? I still leave room. Maybe he means well, but he's not getting the questions. He's not saying the answers that would actually showcase that. So maybe one day one of you guys can go into your piggy bank, give enough money for Tucker to respond to, and ask him one of these questions. Like a really like in detail question to where there's no way around it. Trump is full of shit, or anyone, or the Republican apparatus is full of shit. The thing he grew up in, full of shit. Something. It's an actual critical question. Where there's no way to wiggle around it. Maybe one day someone asks that question. We'll find out. Or I guess maybe we find out. I'm not going to guarantee that at all. But all right, here we go.
he didn't, and he was part of the cover-up, and he's threatened to sue me for saying that. Go ahead. So there are a lot of things about Epstein that I think are vital for the public to know. They're not revealing them. It enrages me. I think it hurts them. It hurts the country. I don't understand it. And I think Trump thinks that it's part of a plot like Russiagate against him. I don't think that's true. I think we need disclosure about a lot of things, beginning with Epstein. Because who's going to trust the government at this point?
I mean, have you seen the birthday?
But okay, they brought up before about Trump campaigning, right? Like, oh, those were just words he said to get us to vote for him. But now, when Trump gets on TV and says, "Who the fuck cares? It's a Democratic hoax. Who cares about this Epstein guy? He's a weird, creepy guy. Who cares about him? MAGA doesn't care about him. America First does not care about him. Now Tucker takes his word for it. AKA doomed to repeat the same bullshit you claim to be more understanding of. Hey man, I got tricked. I won't get tricked again. Of course that's not Tucker's position. Of course not. Instead, it's what we're seeing. There you go.
A lot of things beginning with Epstein. Because who's going to trust the government at this point?
I mean, have you seen the birthday letter that Epstein had
Yeah.
written Donald Trump?
Yeah, he was friends with Epstein.
Yeah, well, I'm saying as that
He
a
lied about
majority of the American populace believes that Trump is a pedophile.
Okay, well.
And
Okay, I mean, I haven't seen polling on that question, but I would say
a good chunk at the minimum.
Okay, I can't speak for anyone other than myself, but I would say, as always, disclosure is the only way to restore trust. I mean, they haven't released all the JFK assassination files, okay? Still. Despite the fact the president issued an order on January 23rd, the day after his inauguration, saying all of them were beat, they haven't been released. So, what is that? And I've got some theories, but I don't have a hard and fast answer because I haven't seen the documents that haven't been released by CIA. But it just makes everybody crazy. And you often hear this criticism of like, there are all these conspiracies on the internet. Well, how do you think they got there? Because they're occupying a vacuum that our leaders, using our money and our government, which we own as citizens of the United States, they're using that to hide information from us solely to protect themselves and their friends. I just think a system like that can't continue. I really don't. I just think it's you're priming the pump for some kind of badness if you keep doing that, and they are continuing to do it.
I agree, and I think that files also need to be released until people like me can feel more at ease with their current administration. Thanks for your...
And every administration. I agree. I agree.
This is so
Hi,
fucking
Mr. Carlson.
mediocre,
My name
bro.
is Joe. I've been a big fan of your show my whole life. I used to
My name's
watch it with
Bob.
my father on TV, and
I'm
he's
Bob.
watching me right now, and so this is really a privilege. I'd like to say I agree with you on most things, foreign policy, domestic policy. However, there's one thing that I do not agree with.
That covers kind of all the policy. It's like, why are these
both
lame?
policies? He had for Iraq War and now against it. Like, yeah, he agrees with them on pretty much everything.
Immigration. Tucker, like, hey man, Tucker, let's say your fucking wife or kids are rounded up in a fucking van with guys with masks on. It's like, what do you think about that, Tucker? I don't know. Yeah, fuck off. Anyways. Listen, Tucker, man, I mostly agree with you on things like foreign policy and like domestic policy. So do you mean like everything on Earth? Okay, so he has a problem with Tucker's outer space policy. He has a problem with Tucker's stance on Space Force. I know, I'm being mean, but still. Be actually prepared, bro. You're gonna do this. I'm looking like a early 2000s gym fucking teacher, bro. Look at those shorts, bro. Look at those sneakers. He's wearing Asics. All right, here we go.
Thing that I do not agree with you with.
Weed?
I do not smoke.
I hate weed. Everyone loves weed. All the cool kids love weed. I hate weed. So okay, but I'm sorry. I won't
you're a
guess.
pussy.
But tell
We
me
know.
what you disagree with me on.
I do disagree with you on abortion.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
And I like to call myself a conservative, and sometimes it feels like a cop-out to say that I'm a pro-choice conservative. I'm a man of faith. I do go to church, and I believe in Jesus Christ, that he's my Lord and Savior, but I think that when I act as a conscientious actor the same way Henry David Thoreau did with not wanting to support a government that supports slavery, and the same way Socrates did when he was in prison, I just don't think I can align the belief that abortion should be banned with the idea that the government should be limited and not infringing within people.
I get what you're saying, and I once had that belief. I mean, I felt the way
you're a
that
libertarian,
you feel.
aren't
I don't want government in the bedroom. I didn't realize that government would arrive in the bedroom and they'd be telling my kids about gays in 5th grade or whatever. Like, government's definitely in our bedroom. Promoting the sexual practices it approves of and discouraging the others. So government's in our bedroom. Thanks, Human Rights Campaign and HHS.
What's he saying? Can anyone make sense of what the fuck he just said? The government's in our bedrooms, and they're saying what should or shouldn't be happening in our bedrooms. Where do you see that at, Tucker? You're showing gay people in Disney movies now. I bet that's his actual answer, by the way. They're showing gay people in Disney movies. You guys are so fucking lame, bro. Holy fuck. You don't have bigger ideas than this? Listen, Charlie died. You're on his platform now, Turning Point USA. Which means even as big of a content creator as Tucker is, even now there's even more eyes probably on this. And this is like, you're not trying to address the bigger questions. Fuck my life, dude. Actually, his answer for the bigger questions is, what does the Bible say? This is not good enough. Because guess what? There's lames and pretenders in that avenue as well. Just being honest. But apparently you can just say the words and someone will believe you. Oh, he said, I love God. Okay. You're a good one. You're a good guy. When they could just be stealing money from your, behind your back. Pickpocketing your fucking wallet, taking the cash out. And putting it back and leaving a cross behind with them. Anyways, here we go.
But I get what you're saying. So I would just start here. Does government have the right to prevent people from killing each other?
Okay, the abortion question.
Yes, to a certain extent.
Yeah,
I
TPUSA,
think that,
you guys are kind of lame.
What would be that extent?
I mean,
it's not just to
tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, Tucker, thank you for being here. I just wanted to ask you about the redistricting push that's been in Indiana. I'm born and raised in Indiana, so this is an issue that I feel like affects me a lot. Currently, Trump is trying to get a lot of his Republican allies.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. My name is Jacob. As someone who's going into the armed forces, I put a lot of priority on...
You're a troop? Yeah! Just don't say the wrong thing,
Put
Troop.
a lot of priority
Trooper.
on tradition and upholding American values, and
Hope we
more
don't go to war.
importantly, upholding our American landmarks and our traditions. Do you?
Woo! Yeah.
Do you
You're gonna go
support
kill
Donald
people
Trump
for that.
tearing down the east wing of the White House to build his ballroom, which has been a historic part
East wing
of the White House ever since
next.
the Roosevelt administration?
Next. The ballroom. Next.
Thank you for your time, sir, and I want to keep this brief for everyone. Sorry, I want to keep this brief for everyone. So
Good. Well, thanks. I should take that advice.
You're good. You're good, Tucker. You got like
Hi, I'm John.
10
I'm
more
an
Zinni
exchange
packs. You're
student
good.
from Poland, and I wanted to ask you about your stance on Eastern NATO flank and on the issue with Ukraine war. From what I've heard from you tonight and also from your programs, what I've been watching personally, you have a very harsh stance on Ukraine president, and you're describing Zelensky as a quote-unquote dictator ruling his country, completely
he wishes.
disregarding, I think, the martial law as it is in place in Ukraine. But also what really bothers me is that I think so personally, that you tend to view this war as an kind of equal conflict between two sides. When we knowing the Russia from their history and seeing what they are doing there, and remembering from the history what they've been doing for 300 years, we know that they like to play the victim. You know, they always play the victim. They always like to call themselves freedom from Kremlin war, all the way to the First World War and so on and so on. And my question here is, don't you feel that it's improper to blame everything on Ukraine? Correct me if I'm wrong, obviously. And completely disregard that Russia is the aggressor in this very war.
Well, first of all, let me say, I'm
First of all,
sorry.
their bread
I didn't
is
mean to sound like I was
excellent
blaming
in
everything
Russia.
Ukraine.
I'll tell
I
you.
think Ukraine is the victim here. NATO is the aggressor. NATO did this under the command of Joe Biden, and it's deranged. And the United States,
Now, to point out that he's already wrong, I'm sure Tucker fans will get their panties in a bunch about it. This does not begin under Biden. NATO's aggression towards Russia does not start under fucking Biden. And that's one of my worst foreign policy topics is Ukraine, Russia. And I understand that no, it's not relegated to one administration. I just showed you before. Show it again. Fuck it. Why not? The United States has lifted key restriction on Ukraine's use of some long-range missiles, enabling Ukraine to attack targets inside Russia. The Wall Street Journal report. Now, maybe they're full of shit, right? Maybe the Wall Street Journal's full of shit. But what I do recognize is that during the first administration, or during Trump's first administration, I mean, they actually set a new precedent where they went from non-lethal aid to lethal aid under the Trump administration. Biden comes into office, ramps it up. Trump comes into office and ramps it up. Now, I understand there's reports of phone calls that they have and all that shit, but guess what? Those are it's to shut you guys up. The audience, I'm saying. It's to keep you guys quiet and say, oh, whatever, with Ukraine. Like, Trump's taking care of that. That's the point of making stories like that. Just the same as, like, making stories where Trump's going to announce a two-state solution in Palestine before he makes a trip to the Middle East. The point is to keep people there quiet. All right? Hey, guys, don't do any type of, like, bombing or don't try to fuck us up because, hey, we might bring up a two-state solution. And then once they leave the Middle East, that is, and there's nothing actually on the table, Yemen will be like, fuck you then. Start bombing again. But don't worry, he's gone already. He's good. And it's not, obviously not cheering for some sort of assassination or some weird shit like that. Fuck that shit. That's for idiots to do. But it's to point out that they do things in foreign policy to do PR to make things look better or worse because of a goal that they're trying to achieve. That has been clear and present to me. Yeah. He can blame Biden all he wants, but guess what? They're all involved. And when you start relegating crimes to only one party, I have to call you sus when you do that. Either ignorant, uninformed, or sus. Like, you might be full of shit. And Tucker gives a lot of signs of being full of shit. But don't worry, he'll say, look what Israel's doing. And it will clear his name for the mass populace. Like, you can't say that. Oh my God, Tucker's saying that. What a rebel. 10, 15, 30 years too late, he'll say something. Thank God for Tucker Carlson. Once again, I hope he's actually made a change. I hope so. But I don't see it yet. I'm still waiting. Anyone can say words out loud. Anyone can say words out loud. Anyone can say free Palestine or something. He's not going to say that. Right? Tucker's not going to go that far. He knows. He's not going that far. But I'm just saying, they're just words, ladies and gentlemen. Actual judgment of character requires some sort of like underneath the surface, or attempts at looking at underneath the surface. It's necessary. Otherwise, what the fuck are we doing here? What's our point? To live, inhale, exhale, stop inhaling and exhaling. Is that our point? Or do we have actual purpose towards what we do with our lives? And when you see actual purpose towards your own life, you have to ask people like Tucker Carlson, like, what the fuck are you doing? What's your fucking point then? I know why I'm here. I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. What's your point though? But don't worry, those questions will not be asked, especially at a TPUSA fucking event. All right? There are a lot of kids' gloves. Let's just be honest. But let's continue. Yeah, what did Biden do, Tucker? Please tell me.
Blaming everything in Ukraine. I think Ukraine is the victim here. NATO is the aggressor. NATO did this under the command of Joe Biden, and it's deranged. Okay. And the United States, on many levels in the foreign policy establishment, and I'm sad to say in the Pentagon, and certainly in NATO command, wants a war with Russia. So now we have one. So no, this is not a war between Ukraine and Russia.
You don't want a fucking war with Russia. God, how are you fucking this up this much? They want a war with Russia? I think they want a proxy war with Russia, where there aren't U.S. troops on the fucking ground, right? But a head-to-head actual war, they don't want that. Because the people will turn against them for doing so. And they all know that. So thus, you let Ukraine, where, let's be honest, no one cares, give Ukraine missiles to shoot into fucking Russia. Stockpile NATO. Stockpile them. Let them give the weapons to Ukraine and say, I had nothing to do with that. That was NATO doing that. But you gave them the weapons in the first place. And we all know that the weapons that you give them will go to end up going to Ukraine. Same with Israel. We give them money to buy U.S. weapons, and some of those things miraculously just end up in Ukraine somehow. Like, come on. We're not that stupid. And Tucker has way more resources than I have. How the fuck am I figuring that one out? Huh? Once again, probably my weakest topic in regards to foreign policy is probably Ukraine, Russia. It happened while I was like gaming and stuff, you know. I'm just gaming, you know, fuck politics. These guys are idiots. I come back and in a span of weeks figure out the shit that Tucker's been spending his whole fucking time on. How? God dang it, we're so fucking dumb. Okay, whatever. I'll shut up. Sorry, guys. Here we go.
War between the United States and Russia. And Western Europe is being crushed by it. Poland, which I love. I've never met a Pole I didn't like. And by the way, of course, I completely understand why you wouldn't trust the Russians, why you have historical reasons to be angry with the Russians. That's all legitimate, obviously. No one has suffered more than Poland in the last 100 years. No country. So I get it, but Poland doesn't run the world, and neither does Ukraine, and neither does Russia. The U.S. does, or did, before this war, and the United States, its leadership, not its people, wanted a war with Russia. Now, you could argue about why. I think resources have something to do with it. Just a desire for hegemony had something to do with it. The fact that Russia's like the largest white Christian country left in the world has a lot to do with it. There are lots of reasons. But
they're doing it because they're Christian? Yeah. That sounds like bullshittery to me. Because they're Christian? That's why Trump's giving them bombs. I don't understand that one. I don't understand. And what I see on the surface, it seems more like they're trying to keep Russia on their, like, make them expend resources. Like, hey, we can't just create their own, like, Russia can't create its own hegemony in these certain areas because they're busy with Ukraine and drones and missiles flying into their country. Or in the war zones, right? That seems more likely the case. I think we did that in Afghanistan. I think it's the same kind of playbook, right? In Afghanistan, the Soviet Union like used a lot of their resources to combat, to fight in that war, and it drained them pretty heavily, and they had to fall back. Why not do that with Ukraine? Although they are apparently crushing Ukraine. And it ends up, it really does end up in like a he said, she said situation, right? Where it's Russia, in their minds at least, feel like they have no choice but to keep pushing and pushing and pushing until they end up in somewhere near Poland. Or now they're a threat to Poland. And thus we need more weapons and ammo and money and all that shit and bombs sent to these nations to deal with Russia. Or the U.S. is like, oh no, we're not doing anything. It's Russia. Like Russia truly wants to go like push the boundaries and get into Europe somehow through Poland, right? That's the idea. But I'm telling you, when you're dealing with fucking devil fucking worshippers, when you're dealing with these fucking cunts, guess what? It doesn't matter for them at least. It's like, oh yeah, well, whatever gets the job done, which is, probably paydays, world hegemony, terraforming the earth in your own image. This seems to be the playbook, and yeah, Tucker sounds like he's wholesale unaware of that. I don't know, or maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I don't think I'm wrong on this one though. But yeah, Tucker seems just unaware of even the concept of that being potentially the reason. Whatever. All right, here we go. Who cares? It's only Ukraine, Russia. Who cares, right?
Russia's like the largest white Christian country left in the world, has a lot to do with it. There are lots of reasons. But they wanted a war with Russia.
Yeah.
I'm not I had no reason to defend Russia. I just don't think that's good for the United States. And I definitely don't think it's good for Poland at all. I think you guys could really hurt yourselves dicking around. You can't beat Russia in a war. NATO's not going to save you. Sorry. NATO hasn't been able to beat Russia yet. All we've done is expose the deep.
NATO hasn't been able to beat Russia yet. If their game is to conquer Russia, then yeah, sure, you're correct. But if the goal is to keep Russia occupied, and if you don't think that played a role in regards to Syria, I don't know what to say to you. I think the goal is to occupy their attention and their resources and their money and their weapons. That'd be if I was the villain in the movie, that'd be obviously the thing to do because they have fucking nukes and they have a substantial army. So let's keep them over here while we pluck and plunder their fucking allies, like Syria, like Venezuela, the tariff deals with China, Iran, fucking Iran. And you keep them busy in this little thing over here called Ukraine-Russia war. Duh. But that's if I was a villain, a bad guy. Tucker's too something, probably too dumb to contemplate such things. But let's continue. Here we go. Or maybe he does. Maybe he's a smart guy. Here we go. Find out.
At all. I think you guys could really hurt yourselves dicking around. You can't beat Russia in a war. NATO's not going to save you. Sorry. NATO hasn't been able to beat Russia yet. All we've done is expose the deep weakness, the actual weakness behind our threats. How does that help the United States? It doesn't. And so I'm really sad about it. And again, I just want to restate, I think Zelensky's a completely bad actor, does not have the interest of Ukraine at heart, obviously. They've been selling NATO weapons on the open market, including to terror groups.
Trump is obviously a bad actor, but Tucker can't say that, can he?
Zelensky's bad, but most Ukrainians are not bad. They're great people, and they're being destroyed. Because why? Because Joe Biden and the NATO leadership wanted a war with
Joe
Russia.
Biden?
They're pawns, okay? And so is Poland. And you have
Joe Biden.
Some great leaders. You have some really
Is he
bad
president
leaders,
right now?
including Ann Applebaum's husband. Lunatics, ideologues, who don't care what happens to Poland. All they care about is beating Putin. So.
One more question. Don't you think that actually when you have a sovereign nation like Ukraine, and let's say Ukrainian people...
Sorry to pause the video again. I'll play just a quick thing. You can almost tell the crowd has no idea what the fuck is going on in Ukraine and Russia. They have no fucking clue. Somehow they're dumber than I am on the topic. Somehow. And it's like, these guys are dedicated to politics, seemingly. They show up at rallies, they put their fucking sweatshirts and hats on and say, I love Charlie Kirk and I love Republican Party and I love politics and yada, yada, yada. And somehow they know less than I do on this topic that I don't give too much attention to. I'm actually like a bot on that topic. And somehow, if I had to guess, there's no crowd reaction because the crowd doesn't know the fucking topic at all. At all. That's my guess, but let's continue. Sorry.
All they care about is beating Putin. So.
But one more question. Don't you think that actually
Is Tucker
when
looking
you have
for
a sovereign
a clap?
nation like Ukraine, and let's say Ukrainian people voted for Zelensky in the first place because they were tired of the previous leadership, and I can understand why. And it's just sufficient to go to Ukraine to see why. But when it comes to the Ukraine and NATO stuff, don't you think that a sovereign nation can make a decision by its people that it wants to join NATO? And I'm not like talking right now from American perspective, but just from the sovereign nation perspective, that they can basically say that, yeah, we want to be in NATO, and there shouldn't be any other country that prohibits.
Because Russia knows what
that,
comes
when
with
they are a
being in
sovereign
NATO.
nation.
Ukraine's not a sovereign nation and hasn't been since at least 2014. You could argue it never has been a sovereign nation. I would like it to be a sovereign nation, but it wasn't. I mean, of course.
The crowd has no idea.
The president was,
why so?
Not a fucking
because the
clue.
president was overthrown in a U.S.-backed coup in 2014 on tape. So we don't need to guess about that. I mean, you had Victoria Nuland talking about it, caught on tape. Look it up on the internet. That was a coup. They're a pawn. Most smaller countries wind up as pawns, actually, in this world. Unfortunately, I feel sorry for every one of them.
Sadly, that's true, yeah.
It is true. It's horrible. Poland is a perfect example. That's why so many Poles have died in the last 100 years, because it's caught in a flat piece of ground in Central Europe, like it's a pawn. I get it. It's sad. But it was NATO that did that.
God damn.
Russia doesn't want Western nuclear weapons on its western border. Okay, why would they? And we agreed not to do that. Why would we do that? Were they really planning on invading Liechtenstein? No. And yet they pushed NATO eastward and provoked this response. I'm against the response. I'm against the invasion. I'm not lauding Putin for invading Ukraine, okay? But we did that. Biden did that. And that's just a fact. And we got rich doing it. It's so dark. And no one's ever been prosecuted for it. You know, meanwhile, Mike Lindell is being destroyed over saying something that some judge didn't like, but Victoria Nuland walks free? Like, how does that work? It's like Epstein.
Wasn't Trump making deals with Ukraine, with Zelensky, to gather up their resources? Like, this is this shit is so kindergarten. I'm so fucking wrecked. Come on, Tucker, you know that, right? We're gonna make a deal. We're gonna get the resources, okay? Didn't work out, but you know, it is what it is. And plenty of some analysts I've heard talk about this, not in the mainstream, but like analysts outside of the mainstream, were saying like, oh, Russia won't stop until they take out the Nazis that exist in Ukraine, right? What's their name? Something Battalion 8. Fuck, who cares? Whatever. Listen, told you I'm a bot on this topic. Azov Battalion or some shit like that. Some people have said that, which means they will have to enter Western Ukraine, which is right on the border with Poland, and thus will antagonize and require the European psychos to grab their weapons, and which they're already doing, but like it would just be extra, I guess. And that is the game being played, in which case regular Ukrainians lose, regular Russians lose, regular Polish lose, regular Europeans lose, regular Americans lose, Canadian, Mexican, all the world loses because we watch these idiots. Once again, these are not smart people, by the way. These are some of the dumbest human beings on planet fucking Earth. They're just willing to do the things that we won't do because we have a conscience. I hope. Well, most of us do, I would hope. And they're willing to do these creepy fucking things for the sake of political strategic measures that only psycho motherfuckers come up with. It's actually ass backwards. Like, these are actually dumb motherfuckers. I kid you not. Anyways, here we go. Sorry for pausing Tucker's wise words. Here we go.
Prosecuted for it. You know, meanwhile, Mike Lindell is being destroyed over saying something that some judge didn't like.
This video's basically over.
Victoria Nuland walks free? Like, how does that work? It's like Epstein. It's too frustrating to watch the guilty prosper.
Yeah, it is very frustrating, but at the same time, I think we, as the free world, as you mentioned earlier, we should state who the aggressor is and actually recognize that Putin is a dictator who kills his political opponents, who kills journalists. And you know that, and you perfectly know that, and everybody knows
that. I mean,
who poisons his opponents.
Yeah, he's bad. Putin's bad. No, I get it. Okay, so I'm getting like the charge of calling someone bad, but the point is not who's bad. The point is how to fix it. And the first thing you have to recognize is you can't push NATO, which is not a defensive alliance, an aggressive expansionist alliance that bombed Serbia for no obvious reasons, that killed Gaddafi. It's like the whole thing is insane.
Kind of for obvious.
It's not about who's bad, but Biden did bad. And guess what? Some dumb fuck, right-leaning person is going to say, look, you're a Biden supporter, aren't you? I'm not. That dude's a criminal too. But the blame doesn't stay with him and him alone. It's over multiple administrations. You fucking dingbats. Straight up. It's incredible. We're not here to say who's bad, who's good, or who's bad, but Biden did this. It's like that, like, yo. Like, I'm telling you right now, foreign policy wise, saying Joe Biden and Joe Biden alone does not actually make sense. It's actually a dumb thing to say. To relegate it strictly to Biden. It's seriously. It's like saying Obama facilitating the quote unquote, well, not even quote, the fake civil war in Syria. Him facilitating that has nothing to do with George W. Bush. It's the same statements, essentially. Like, of course it does. There's a war on terror, and as soon as you deem something as terroristic type of behaviors, you can go invade. Oh, the people don't like me invading with our military? Okay, we'll pay these guys to invade. And that's what happened in Syria. Then you circle through, and now all of a sudden, the rebels that were, Al-Qaeda and ISIS members, now they're the leaders of Syria. And what does Trump do? He shakes their hands and says, what a big, strong man he is. I say that a million times, but guess what? In case someone new hears these words, I have to say it again. Obama started, Trump continued, Biden continued, and Trump finished. Major pause. But yes, that's what happened. And most Americans, and I would hope that Tucker knows this. I assume he does, but he can't say it in front of TPUSA. Like, yo, when you go through the full circle of the event, all the way back to even the Mujahideen in the 80s, you really circle through all of this. It's like, wait a minute, this shit is fucking rigged. This is bullshit. But Tucker can't find the gumption to say these things. Or he's too dumb to think of it on the fly like that. It's also a problem. Whatever. Who cares, right? Let's keep going.
Reasons Serbians were killing Bosnians and Muslims in the Balkans, and I know it's a really, you should read into that really, because
I was there last week. No, whatever, we disagree. But my only point is, they wanted a war with Russia, they got one. It's not good for the United States. It's a total disaster for the Ukrainians. I feel sad about it, and I
didn't get a war with
having
Russia.
spent
they
a lot of time
Russia
in foreign
into
countries
a war.
around the world my whole life. The leader of X country is bad. Yeah, okay, I know quite a few of those. That's not really an answer to the question, which is what should we do? And what we should do is end this conflict immediately, because it's resulting in the deaths of innocents and weakening the United States, and has driven Russia into the arms of China, forming a bloc called BRICS, which is now bigger than the Western alliance, which is like us and a bunch of deindustrialized, sad, immigration-ravaged Western European countries. It's really depressing.
Someone told Tucker that if they say, you know what, we're done with the Ukraine-Russia war. We're done with that. That there's 40 other conflicts he has to deal with after that. Ones he's not even paying attention to, not telling his audience about. Whatever. Here we go.
Yeah, BRICS is, I think, very dangerous. But just for the closing statement, I personally think that it's just basically a sovereign nation being invaded by Russia. And okay, NATO did a fair share of.
It wasn't a sovereign nation. We picked its leaders. It was a client state that Joe Biden and his kid were getting rich from. I mean, no, it was like it was a creation of look. Ukraine is always going to be a satellite either of
you can't say
Russia
that
or the
for
West.
Israel
Look what is on the
because
map,
they're
okay?
too.
Look at its resources. It's going to be under the influence of a larger power.
You need them to
Unfortunately,
be
that's the way the world works. And so it was a choice between is it going to be a proxy of the United States or is it going to be a proxy of Russia? We made it our proxy, but it was never sovereign.
And where Israel's
but
proxy?
the Russia was one country that attacked the other country. And also, I think worth remembering is that Russia has long history of invading sovereign
I get it.
Georgia,
I get it.
Poland.
You guys are all worried about Russia. I understand that.
Yeah, and I think we really, as NATO, and the values that the NATO should uphold in principles should be respected. And I just want to say,
I've got a better idea. Why doesn't
agree to
Poland
disagree.
go to war with Russia? If you're upset about it, why don't you go defend Ukraine? Sorry to be a jerk, but why am I paying for this? This is hurting the
Why am
United
I
States.
paying for this?
I mean, look, I've
Part
tried
of the
to be
EU,
reasonable.
so
I
it
understand
did
your
have all of
concerns.
Europe,
I don't think they're
except for
frivolous,
the
and I
UK
definitely
fighting
understand
on
your
it.
history, and it's all real. And I love the Poles. On the other hand, this is a regional concern. Why am I involved in this? Why do my children live under the looming threat of nuclear war to protect the sovereignty of Ukraine or save Poland? Like, I like Poland, I like Ukraine, but like, I'm an American. Not one more dollar. No. Fight the war yourself if it's so important.
Yeah.
Once again, if you leave this conflict, Tucker, there's about 40 or 50 other ones you're going to have to deal with after that. So say it about everything. Which means you have to actually, like, research those things so that you can say, like, why are we doing this? Why are we spending money in Tunisia? Or Somaliland? Or Sudan? Why are we spending money here? What are we doing? Like, yeah, you got a lot. You're using this short list when it's actually quite a large list of countries that the U.S. is involved with, either financially, militarily, or both. But, you know, I feel black-pilled. Pause. There we go. A little bit more, then I'm done with
I
this.
totally
shit,
get
bro.
it.
It's
I'm not an American, so you know about
I'm not attacking you at all. I mean, I go do your cavalry charges or whatever, but.
Yeah. Probably will. Probably.
You've done it before.
Proudly Catholic, yeah. Nevertheless, I just think that when we are in an alliance and we agree on certain things, we should stick together in tough times.
Yeah, how's that working? It's not.
Pretty badly because of the current administration, but you know it.
You were not winning before, and the poor Poles have been. They're so easily roused. I get it. They're such valiant, noble people, but they have a long history. No offense, of riding into doom because of their.
I completely agree with that, but nevertheless,
don't do it again.
Just for the closing statement, I hope you are aware of spreading basically the Russian point of view and getting dragged in this conversation. I don't really think Americans as a leader of the free world should do that, but it's just up for
we're paying for the war. It's our war. No mas.
You're making a buck out of it also, but like nevertheless, thank you very much for your time, and I let you talk also.
Hey, Tucker. So I was just told that I was the last one to speak at this event, and in the spirit of what you said and respecting Charlie Kirk, I want to turn this last question more so into a discourse rather than a debate. Yeah, bear with me. I'm just using my phone.
He's
I'm
Drake.
sure you've seen the AI video Trump posted recently showing himself literally dumping poop on protesters, representing the millions of real Americans, including veterans, teachers, parents exercising their rights. His team calls it satire, but I look at this and see everything converging. Everything's become ironic, so nothing can be taken seriously. Each outrage has to be more extreme than the last. We've stopped seeing these people as actual human beings.
Even Tucker's like, these
and the whole
fucking
media
idiots.
ecosystem, including left-wing media, right-wing media, Trump, and you at times, reward it because it drives engagement.
I'm only giving this
You, Tucker, have shown that you can have
minute or
empathy for
two tops.
individuals,
But here we have millions of
the fucking
people
question
being
already.
depicted as being
Please.
deserving to be shit on. So my question is, do you ever feel trapped in this system? Maybe you think it's corrosive, but do you think incentives make it almost impossible to do anything else? Or is there a line where even within those incentives, you'd say, this has gone too far?
Well, I would.
This has gone too far, and you're using a fucking AI video a meme they fucking tweeted out. Come on, dude. Come on. This is not even the best meme to use. Didn't he meme out blowing up people? Whether it's the ocean or people in fucking Yemen. They tweeted those things out from the White House account. Like, hey, look what the fuck we did. We blew up these motherfuckers over here. With no proof of guilt of any form or fashion. Not that I'm in favor of that anyways. I'm just saying, like, they blow people up on their accounts. And you're mad about an AI fucking video of him I guess, a plane dropping dookies on like the Statue of Liberty or something. Like, come on. What are we doing? Yeah, damn it. God. We're so fucking stupid. We are so stupid. We're dumb. All right, Tucker, I'll give you a couple seconds. Go ahead.
I'll take your question seriously. Do I feel trapped in a system? I mean, there definitely have been times in the course of my long, 30 years of doing this where I felt like I worked
30
in a
years
network.
of mediocrity, by the way.
I always made a big show internally if I'm going to say whatever I want, and if you don't like it, fire me. But when they finally did fire me, well, when I got fired for the third time, I realized that there is self-censorship that goes on. Like, there's some topics you just don't want to broach because you know that they're too hot, your bosses don't like them. And so I do think in some sense I was captive at the various
So you're a
channels I
pussy,
worked
okay,
at.
go ahead.
And I definitely went along with stuff that I feel bad about now, most significantly the Iraq War, but I'm sure many others. And so, yes,
Iraq
I would
includes
say
Afghanistan, but yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I don't want to make it about me, but since you asked about me, I often get this like,
How'd you
well,
fall for
you're in
that,
it for the
Tucker?
money. Or, no, I'm really not actually at all.
I have enough
And
money.
No, I
I'm
don't
good.
have $50 million, but I also have no debt, and like my kids are grown, and I'm not working for anybody. I really can say whatever I want.
You have money. You have your family's money. We all know this. Go ahead.
And I love that. I feel
Jesus
so blessed
Christ,
by that.
this is
So it's not really a calculation. The problem that I have, and I did it to the French kid, is I get mad. I get annoyed, and I get snappy and say things that are mean or cutting, or I don't take the other person seriously. That is a lifelong tick of mine. It's unattractive and immoral, and you just saw it on display. So
I think it's a dual.
Well, like, Tucker, you wouldn't make it in my Discord, let alone, something bigger than that. I get ticks sometimes where I get really mad and I say things. So fucking what? You're not like impressive. You're not. Well, I mean, I would say even around here, you're not going to talk anyone down. From my experience of things, someone can get pissed off, back at you, but you don't actually hold anything of, oh my god, this guy is the holy grail of fucking discussion and arguments. But then again, he's probably comparing himself in a way to dumb fucks, which is what I guess I'm doing right now. Either way, okay. Done with this. I'm done. Yuki videos, got it. For the most part, Tucker's answers are dog shit. Not the worst ever. I've heard worse. But the point is to look at Tucker in general from my perspective. And from my perspective, he's not good at this stuff. He's not good at this stuff. It is what it is. It's my opinion. I'm sure Tucker fans are like, shut up, you can't do any better. I understand. I know. I'm trash. He's awesome. I get it. We will leave it there. There's your video. Yeah, please subscribe if you feel like. Comment, agree, disagree. Tell me what you think in the comment section. All opinions are welcome. Seriously. A lot of people, sometimes they say, like, critical things of me, but they don't actually say the critique. They just say, fuck you. Yeah, where's your subscribers at? Or, hey, man, you're trash. Hey, man, I hate your voice. I hear shit like that. I'm like, yo, at least throw a real critique out there that I can actually engage with. So thus, although they won't make it to this point in the video, it is what it is. But please, say your opinions. All of them are welcome. Shout out to Silver, as I'm sure he's washing dishes right now or cooking food. I'm sure he's making dinner as he's listening to this right now. Shout out to you. And all you other YellBro buttheads. Welcome. Welcome. Shout out to all of you. There's your video. Please don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box for charity. Also, Discord link if you want to join that. All opinions are welcome there as well. Just nothing pornographic or grotesque. And obviously, I will put the videos that you see here that are the links to the either tweets or videos or whatever the fuck I showed will be linked in the description box for your own viewing without me pausing, talking over, or any of us doing that. Please do so. And with all that said, most importantly, more than anything in your life, most important thing of your existence, give this video a thumbs down.